Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 21st council meeting. Madam Clerk, pledge please.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Ricks.
Present.
Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief LaPree.
Present.
Fire Chief St. Cyr absent. Finance Director Todd Turnion.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry.
Present.
Myself, Carrie Hustis, clerk is present. Mayor's announcements.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion for a personal privilege here. I'd like to bring up State Representative Big John Ilg, and I don't know if State Senator I'd like for y'all to come on and give a little presentation of, if y'all would like to. Got it. You got it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council. Thank you all for having me. Just wanted to give a little update on some things we did during session this year. Since I'm chairman of Senate Insurance, I'll talk about insurance. We had a very successful session dealing with auto insurance. Obviously, we have the highest auto insurance rates in the country. With the governor's backing and his support, we passed a number of bills that are, we hope and we feel, have aligned us with other states and will curb and get those insurance rates down. We've already seen a number of companies starting to lower their rates. On the property insurance side, if you recall, last year we did a bunch of stuff on the property insurance. We're already starting to see that go down. The fortified roof program, which I can't stress enough, to get a fortified roof on your home if possible, is really starting to pay good dividends. So basically how that works is there's a lottery every fall that's going to open up again, I think at the end of September, where you can just put in your name and your number and everything on the Department of Insurance website. And if you get chosen, you get a $10,000 towards a fortified roof. Most fortified roofs are costing somewhere between $8,000 and $12,000, $13,000, depending on the size of your home. But in some cases, if it's a smaller home, it's less than $10,000. I can assure you, though, that when you get that, the rate decreases that people have seen, and we had the state auditor take a look at all the people that have gotten fortified roofs so far. They're saving an average of 22% on their premium, plus your roof will not blow off. So it really is a good program. We normally put about $20 million a year into that program. This year, we decided to tax and raise the fees on insurance companies and have them pay for the fortified roof program. So instead of taxpayer dollars, it's coming from the insurance industry. So now we're going to have about $30 million instead of 20 for the lottery program. I also did a bill that John Ill co-authored with us to do a tax credit program. So if you aren't fortunate enough to get picked in the lottery, and if you have the money to front the money and put the fortified roof on yourself, we'll give you a $10,000 tax credit towards your tax liability. Now that is capped at $10 million. You know, I wish we could put $100 million into that, but you know, there's only so much money we can do at first. So how that works, that is going to open up in about a month, and you can call the Department of Revenue. They're kind of administering that program. You can't do both. It's kind of an either or thing. We also currently we have a tax deduction if you do things to mitigate damage on your home, like put in storm windows, cut trees from around your house that might fall on them, put in various things that can protect your house from a storm. We had a $5,000 tax deduction for that. We raised that to $10,000. Now, a deduction is different from a credit, right? A credit would be if you owe $8,000 worth of taxes at the end of the year and you have an $8,000 tax credit, then you owe nothing. If you get an $8,000 tax deduction, it just shrinks the amount of your income that's taxed. So if you're making $100,000 a year and you have an $8,000 tax deduction, now you're taxed at $92,000, not $100,000. It's not as good as a credit, but it is something, and that is not capped at all. So I strongly encourage you to at least get a wind mitigation survey where you pay, and this is also tax deductible, you pay several $100s for a company to come out and do a survey on your house that kind of ranks you on how susceptible your house might be to a storm. They look at the roof, they look at your windows, they look at trees that might fall on it, your elevation, all those kind of things. And those are actually seeing a lot of savings too. When an insurance company gets that survey, you would think they do that anyway, but they don't. That is also producing a lot of discounts. I'll also touch on, you might have read in the paper, looks like we're going to go into a special session sometime in October to deal with congressional redistricting. We're all waiting to see what this big U.S. Supreme Court decision that comes down on how maps are drawn. You've probably seen in this country there's a lot of going on in Texas, a lot going on in California, and all these kind of things. Well, this case is going to be a landmark decision on how this country, not just Louisiana, moves forward in how we draw congressional districts and really how we draw districts for everything other than statewide districts. So depending on that, we're probably going to go into session in October and draw a contingency map in case the current maps get thrown out. So that's something that to keep an eye on. But I could go on and on. I don't want to take up everybody's time. Mr. Mayor and Council, if y'all have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer.
No, we agree.
I have one. Could, just for everyone in here, the lottery, how do they apply?
So go on, just Google Louisiana Department of Insurance, and once you get on there, you'll see a tab that says the Fortified Roof Program, and it kind of takes you on from there. Or you can call my office, 504-736-7299, and we can walk you through it or find somebody to help you through it if you're having trouble. But I strongly suggest, at the minimum, sign up for the lottery, and if you get it, it's a great deal.
Yeah, I signed up twice already. No luck. No luck.
It's a random lottery, so it's all done on that. It's not based on income or anything like that. We do prioritize people that live like where we do in the 22 coastal parishes that are susceptible to hurricanes. So that is something that helps us.
You said there's an alternative program where you can sign up with the state, pay for your roof, and then get the same
Right, so that's
10,000 credit?
the income tax
The
credit. That's,
distinction is you got to cash flow it, right? Is it that
yes,
simple?
you would put the roof on first,
Right.
and then you would claim a tax credit.
And do you also, is it the same website,
That's Department of Revenue.
Department of Revenue?
So the Department of Revenue is running that program. It's totally separate. So, but you can't do both. But I would, I think they're going to open up the lottery system probably in late September. So, but again, we have $30 million instead of 20, and we're not using taxpayer dollars. We're using money paid by the insurance industry, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kirk, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. State Representative John Ilg, I've had the opportunity and pleasure to represent District 78 over the last 6 years. I took Senator Talbot's seat when he moved up to the Senate, and I've learned a lot from Senator Talbot. We serve on a couple of boards together, and we've done a lot to help the city of Harahan, but the city of Harahan has done a lot to help themselves. They have come to Baton Rouge on a weekly basis when we're in session. There's a Jefferson delegation meeting, and they are there every week to let you know what Harahan needs. And it's the reason Harahan looks as good as it does. The Veterans Park, the Senior Center, the repaving of Hickory, the filling in of ditches. I could go on, and it's going to continue because we've got more funding for the playground. We received, Senator Talbot and I worked together to get funding for the ADA playground that has been requested. We're getting the new bathrooms at the Senior Center. That's the Senior Center. If you haven't been to the Senior Center was redone. It's beautiful. It's by far the best Senior Center in Jefferson Parish. But the one thing they didn't have money to, and Spike came to me and said, we could use money for the bathrooms. So we took care of that this year. So there will be new bathrooms there. We got money for the chief, for cameras, for his cars. We got money for another $100,000, I think, for the Veterans Park for Phase 2, security cameras at the playground. That gets done because of the communication that this council has with us. And, I think other people are envious of the relationship that we have. I know other small towns are because these guys work really hard. to make Harahan as good as it can be. And I think we work with that. And Harahan, to me, Harahan, River Ridge, and this entire district that Kirk and I represent work well together because the line of communication, not only between ourselves, but Jefferson Parish government and Harahan government. But we've had some economic wins in this state. I know you guys have probably read in the paper. It's not all here. We had the port of St. Bernard's going to be expanded, which is going to give us greater economic access there. We've got the LNG plants in Cameron and in Plaquemines. We've got the steel facility in Ascension, and we've got the big meta center that you may have read about with the power up there that's needed for that. That's the largest facility, largest data center in the country. I think it may be in the world. That's economic wins for the state. So we're working hard to continue to educate our workforce to be able to fill those jobs because that's the biggest challenge we have now. This state is moving in the right direction. I know you may not always see it, but I got a call from a young lady today. Said, I thought it was all bull when you said my insurance rates were going to go down. She said, but we compared rates. And our new company, it's $120 less for me and my husband a month, which is fortunate for her because she said her 16-year-old will be driving soon, so she can help use some of that savings. But compare your rates and go out and look and shop because I know a lot of people are negative and don't think we work. We work really hard up there because we're just like you. We're nothing special. We're just like you citizens right here. Work very hard for you guys because it helps us as well. But I appreciate everything the mayor and the council have done with me, the chief, the fire chief. Everybody in this city is a team, and they work hard for us. And I'm here to thank them, but I'm here to thank Kirk and you guys for letting us represent y'all. And if you guys have any, if we have questions, my office is right there.
So we got great news today. We got a lot of CEAs starting to come through the state for all of the funding now. And when you see the CEAs, you know that stuff is starting to move. And the better news we got today, the fire station has actually moved away from FEMA into GOSEP. And so it looks like we're for sure going to get a brand new fire station.
Yeah.
And we're super excited about that. And also, we've also, because of you and your staff and Senator Talbot and his staff, we were able to finally lock down the first phase of the sewer infrastructure
The
repair.
money that we got a few years ago.
And I finally got that a few years ago, and we got the money, so we're overhauling our first lift station, and just got approved for some other work down the line, and it's been really, really incredible. And I tell everybody, every time I see them, if you ever see these guys anywhere, thank them, because they are so good to this city, and they're so good to you as well. And it's a lot of reasons why a lot of things have gotten done, and the amount of movement that we've done in the past 6 years since I've been there has been, paramount to the point almost where it's unbelievable. The amount of things that we've had done, and it's been incredible. And I owe so much to you guys, and like I tell these citizens, thank you guys every single day, and I thank you every day. You know that.
I know you do, and I appreciate that. I think Kirk and I both do, and our staffs do. I know Kirk and I have great staffs and people that work with us.
Yes, sir.
We're very fortunate that they make you look good.
Yeah.
So Jefferson Parish, by the way, we're lucky to live in Jefferson Parish. People look at Jefferson Parish, and we're the most well-run delegation in Baton Rouge, and the communication between the parish makes it easy for us to represent you guys and help get the funding we need. And we're led by Cameron Henry's the Senate president. That means a lot down here. And having that communication with him helps get what we need for Harahan, and there's more coming. You're going to see Dickory developed soon, and you're going to see some other things being done throughout not only the parish, but the city as well. But thank y'all for having me here tonight. I know y'all have a lengthy agenda, I would think, but we appreciate finally getting to come update you guys at the end of session, and we'll be back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we have a special presentation tonight. We would like to award Kenny Madera and Alan Majoria a certification of recognition for their outstanding achievement and remarkable athletics, who played with skill and determination and true sportsmanship in the 2025 Rio Lario Summer Cornhole Session. After 4 weeks of spirited competition, they rose to the top, showing teamwork, focus, and winning spirit, and they proudly brought home the gold medal for the double elimination championship tournament. The city of Harahan commends Kenny and Alan for their remarkable accomplishments and celebrates the inspiration that they bring to our community. So Kenny and Ellen, there you come on up.
Cornhole champions at Harahan, that's awesome. I love it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, special presentations?
Okay, special presentation number 1, Major Robin Sorrell, Commander, Pontchartrain Cadet Squadron, U.S. Air Force Auxiliary.
Good evening, and thank you to the mayor and the councilman, Councilman Johnston, thank you. I'm Major Robin Sorrell, Commander of the Civil Air Patrol Pontchartrain Cadet Squadron. We meet every week, every Tuesday, at the VFW Hall in Harahan on Hickory. We have a wonderful program. Well, first off, let me start with a brief history. We were founded December 1st, 1941, and we know what happened a few days after that. Well, Civil Air Patrol was founded then to provide the nation with our, with a defense service. While all our boys were overseas, we had a nation to defend us. We used our aviation resources, including personnel. Well, since then, we've actually evolved to a public service organization, a premier one, serving as a cost-effective force. And we also go on Air Force assigned missions. And when we're on an Air Force mission, we're actually part of the Air Force. We are congressionally chartered. We are federally funded, 501c3 nonprofit corporation, and we operate across the country as well as overseas. Our particular squadron is Pontchartrain Cadet Squadron, so that's where we have our main focus. Here are 2 of our cadets here at the end, both sisters. We have a tech sergeant and an airman. They promote just like the Air Force does. They go from airman all the way to tech sergeant, all the way up to lieutenant colonel. These children are your children, ages 12 and up. They can join as a cadet up to age 18. They teach, well, I say they, we teach leadership skills, aerospace education, upon which Major Jura right here is our education officer, aerospace education officer. Cadets that join up until their 18th birthday can have 5 front seat powered flight in a Cessna C-172 and 182, by which we have the largest single engine, single engine aircraft in the world. I'm not sure how many, largest fleet of Cessnas. So they get 5 front seat flights where they actually take control of the aircraft. Note over Harahan. We have a pilot that's always in charge. He's right there, but the cadets actually grab a hold of the yoke, and the pilot instructs them, go bank left, bank right, and they have a great time. Once they get up in the air, I've had cadets that don't want to fly, but once they get up there, they enjoy it. And an unlimited number of backseat rides. But we also have, like I said, they build leadership skills, teamwork skills. We also qualified cadets help with search and rescue exercises, as well as real-life missions, which we've gone on several. They also get to learn about drones, STEM kits, other STEM activities, model rocketry. They earn ranks, they have awards. We also have scholarships for excelling cadets to go to a week-long encampment. Actually, it's about 9 days. We just came back from Keesler Air Force Base, where they graduated August 3rd, And I believe you were on the, was that Honor or Warrior? Honor flight. They had 5 flights, and the cadets all get split up. We have, I want to say just 2 or 3 from Harahan, but we have several from Kenner, a few from New Orleans, and several from the West Bank. But they earn scholarships to go to these encampments. They also have Powered Flight Academy in Texas, Blue Beret up in the mountains somewhere. I don't know what a mountain looks like. But they attend competitions. We have color guard competitions. If you've ever been to the World War II Museum, if you go where they have the American sector, you'll see a poster, Civil Air Patrol, because it's beautiful up there. And also, if you look at the video, we've done the POW MIA table. And actually, that was the cadet on the end. That was one of our major head cadets for that. Also, we have positions for adult leaders. If you don't think you're a leader, which was me 15 years ago, I'm now the commander. So, but we also need senior members to help guide these young children that are actually cadets. They're a step up from a child because they give up one day a week on a Tuesday, but they also give up their weekends to go and learn how to be good citizens, productive citizens. We also practice emergency service skills. Like I said, we go on search and rescue missions. We also have what we call SARXs, which is search and rescue exercise, that we attend monthly. We have lots of flight opportunities, whether it's flights for cadets, but senior members, we can also fly as long as we're doing something. Mission scanner, mission observer, pilot, if we have any pilots. And we also learn leadership skills. We also enjoy fellowship, and it's one big family. You really get to learn these people, different types of people. They're all over the world. We've international air exchange with cadets, where we'll take a couple of our cadets, send them, I don't know where they go. They've gone to Australia, not our cadets, but we've had cadets go to Australia, to Japan, and in turn, we take their cadets in for this country, and they tour the country. They spend about 2 weeks, I think, here. So it's a really good program. We invite everyone to come out. We're there on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 in the evening till 9 o'clock at night. You're more than welcome to come in, see what we do, see what we offer. And if you want to join, you can join. There's no military obligation. So if you come in, cadets can come in. They come in through the program from 12. We've had some come in at like 17, 18 years old. But the sooner they get in, the more they get out of the program. And we accept everybody up to 103 years old. So I said, there's always a chance. So please stop by. Did I miss anything?
Other than,
Please.
We have some flyers here. If anybody's interested in this program, Major Sorrell and our daughter is 27, and we continue to do this now, even though she's not a cadet anymore. And several of our senior members are the same. We don't have kids in the program anymore. They've done it, and they're out as adults. And so we continue doing it because we just love the way we see these young ladies and gentlemen turn into citizens and future leaders. And as the Major said, we've got openings for senior members also. Nobody's too old to do this. I'm 76 and I'm still doing it. I've got some flyers here. I'm gonna leave them on the little table outside the door there. If anybody's interested, there's a lot of contact information. You can just go to gocivilairpatrol.com and you can read stuff about us for a day. And that's it. Thank you very much.
So we meet at the VFW, and Commander William Hunton is our sponsor, because our rent at the VFW is very, very cheap. And we appreciate it. We help them with events. They help with us with fundraising and stuff like that.
Great.
So please, children, grandchildren, send them our way. please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Johnston.
Yeah. Could I amend the agenda, Mayor? I'd like to add the Parkinson's group to here, and we forgot to put it on the agenda tonight.
The Parkinson's
The
group?
Parkinson's group here tonight. I'd like to amend the agenda to
Can we
allow
bring
them
them
to
up now?
speak.
Let's bring them up
Second.
now.
Could we-
Second.
It'd be all right?
You got it, yes, sir. A motion by Mr. Councilman Johnson to amend the agenda, and a second by Councilman Asbill to amend the agenda to bring up the Parkinson Group right now. We'll open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak for or against, please come forward. No one coming forward. We'll close public hearing. All in favor?
Aye. Come on up, Miss Heidi. Thank you.
A little short here. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the council for allowing me to speak this evening. I'll be brief. My name is Heidi Bruning. I'm a resident of Harahan. I have young onset Parkinson's disease and I'm 49 years old. I was diagnosed at the age of 45. Parkinson's is the fastest growing neurological disease in the world, even surpassing Alzheimer's disease. Each year, the Louisiana Walks for Parkinson's Disease, which is this year sponsored by the Parkinson's Foundation, has a walk that raises funds to provide resources for people of this region afflicted with Parkinson's disease. We provide essential information, services, and resources to the Parkinson's community. I'm here not only to invite the council to attend our event, but allow us to provide signage at the following locations to advertise our event, which is October the 11th. At Jefferson Highway at St. Rita, right across from St. Rita on the neutral ground, at Zerang Park, at the corner of 10th and Hickory, which is the Harahan playground, and Dickory and Citrus by Zia. And I think,
Can you repeat those one more time?
sure. Jefferson Highway, right across the street from St. Rita on the neutral ground, Zerang Park, the corner of 10th and Hickory, which is the Harahan Park right across the street from the fire station, Dickory and Citrus by Zia, right across the street from Zia.
When is the walk? When's the event?
Actually, the walk, the registration opens at 9 a.m. The walk begins at 11. It's at Lafayette Park. We have a silent auction, a parade of prizes, live music, food and beverages, a kids' corner, and resources for people, free resources for people. And if you can't afford the registration, you're still welcome to attend the event to get information for your family members or for your care partners that have Parkinson's disease. I'd like to give each of the council members one of our.
Do you have
can't-
some extra that you can leave in the lobby?
Yes, yes, sir.
And then also, too, we'd like to get with you if you have anything digital posted on our website, see if we can really have. promote
Yes,
all
I can do that as well, sir.
ma'am.
Thank you.
We can't give you approval for Dickory and Citrus on the neutral ground, but we can let you put it by Zia's on the Zia side.
Okay.
Because our boundary stops right there on the curve.
Okay.
That's Jefferson Parish on the neutral ground. They'd have to
Okay.
give you, you can go to Jefferson Parish and get the approval from Jefferson Parish.
Okay.
But we can't give you approval on the neutral ground on Dickory.
Okay.
What are the dates that you wanted to put the signage at?
2 weeks, our event is October the 11th, so if we could do it towards the end of September and leave it up. We pick up our signs the day after the event. So we're very expedient about picking up our signs when the event is over. We won't leave them up
Yeah, the sign
longer.
people are very responsible. I see them come
Can-
out, they usually
yeah.
got them PVC pipe, really nice
Absolutely.
sign.
David and I and my husband William, we also.
Good job, Mr.
We
Davis.
go
That's
out
the sign
and, we're the sign crew.
Good job.
How big are the signs?
4 by 8s, right?
Yeah, David?
Signs are roughly 5 feet wide by 3 feet high,
Okay, 3
and I
by
drop
5s.
them into the ground. I have an aluminum pipe, I drop them to the ground first, and I put the PVC pipe on top of that, and it's fairly well anchored.
I'm gonna ask that you consider on Jefferson Highway, don't put it right at an intersection, put it more in the middle of the block.
Yeah.
So when people are turning, that can obscure their view of oncoming traffic. So if we can set it back.
Yes, sir, we try not to obstruct traffic. They're low to the ground as well.
Parish, if I say I'm gonna put it on a corner, I have to put it on the corner. That's how Jefferson Parish must be had.
Members of the council, I'd like to amend the agenda to add new business number 6 for Parkinson sign approval.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to amend the agenda for a new business number 6 to add sign approval for Parkinson Walk. So I have a second by Councilman Buddy.
You don't have to leave yet.
Okay.
We'll have to open for public hearing. We actually have someone speaking in favor for, so we'll count that. We'll close public hearing. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, please amend the agenda.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that on the agenda so we can approve it tonight. That way
Okay,
can do
thank
it.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so sorry to interrupt you, but continue if you have more.
Do y'all have any questions for us and the resources that maybe we provide to the community? We have the Blake, we have our Circle of Friends group, they're actually members of Harahan. They meet at the Blake, they've met at the Blake before, and we've actually expanded so much that we're also now at Ochsner. We have a young onset group of Greater New Orleans areas for people 50 and under. We've gone from 3 of us that started the initial group. We have over 20 members with Parkinson's that are under the age of 50. So just to show how fast it's actually growing.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How, is it hereditary? Is it something that just?
Only 2% of people diagnosed with Parkinson's have the genetic makeup for Parkinson's disease. It's like if you have the cancer gene, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it. 87% of people that are diagnosed do not have the gene for Parkinson's. I am one of those people. I've been tested through the wazoo. I do not have the gene for Parkinson's. We now know that it's from environmental influences. I will be traveling to Congress for the Parkinson's Policy Forum in Washington, D.C. in September. So Parkinson's looks like me. It doesn't always look like an older gentleman. Most people think that Parkinson's is an older male that'll get it. It's no longer the case anymore.
I'm so sorry. We'll do everything we can to support and help you. That's for
Thank
sure.
you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
Okay.
Clerk?
Special presentation number 3, Amanda Strabeck, Eisner Ampner, 2024 financial statement audit results.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Strebeck. I'm with Eisner Amper, the local CPA firm. I'm located in our Baton Rouge office, but we also have an office here in Metairie. And this is Brianne. She was the manager on the engagement, and so she's located in our Metairie office. So we are here today to present the results of the 2024 financial statement audit. We were engaged to audit the financial statements of the city of Harahan. With that, we look at the financial information, and then we also look at your federal funds. And so wanted to just kind of cover that. So we did complete the audit and got it filed in time with the legislative auditor. And we did issue an unmodified opinion, which is a clean opinion on the financial statements, which is the highest level of assurance that you can receive. So our responsibility is to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance that the financial statements are prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, which means basically that we have to do sampling. We cannot test 100% of transactions. We use auditor judgment with regards to assessing risk and materiality through the information. Just kind of a few high-level things just to point out. There were a few new accounting standards that had to be adopted this year for government related to compensated absences and trying to record that liability for payments that will be made in the upcoming year for sick and vacation time that have been earned. So that's reflected in the statements. That required a restatement of the 2023 numbers to reflect that change. That, again, is a part of the standards, part of the requirement. So all governments are having that.
I have
Again,
a question
sure.
regarding that. I think I understand it, but does that mean that municipalities can now accrue a liability for unpaid accrued leave by employees?
So what they're looking at is what has an employee earned during the year and the likelihood that they're going to take it. In the prior guidance, it used to be capped out to say that if the person terminated and they were only paid for 5 days, 5 days was the max that you can accrue. Right? So before it was based on if you paid it out or not, and a lot of sick time was never paid out if somebody left. So you didn't have a liability for that. This is saying that there's a likelihood that those people are going to stay and they're going to use that sick time or that vacation time in the next fiscal year. So you need to record that expense in the current fiscal year. So
it's
yes.
One fiscal year's worth?
Yes, it's whatever was left over at 2024, and then what we did was kind of did an average of the prior 3 years, kind of looking at how much an individual earned versus what they were using and kind of take a percentage of that. So it's really an estimate.
How much did we accrue?
So
Just
for,
roughly.
let's see, the whole adjustment was about $780,000, but that was to bring it back to prior years, but in the current year,
Well, so that's more than just what employees have accrued for the coming year.
it's
Would-
sick and
Would
vac.
that cover it if an employee terminated and had 100 days of pay? for
Yes,
accrued?
because we compared it to your policy
Well, that's good news.
by level.
That's something that, we've had a problem with that for many years. From a budgeting perspective, we don't put $200,000 in our fire department's budget every year for somebody to retire. And we've got hit, we had some real budgetary problems. Going forward, we can pay from it, accrue it, pay it out of the liability account, right?
Just to clarify, Mr. Buddy, the new standard only impacts the government-wide financial statements, does not change how we account for it in the general fund or at the fund level. So there's no change. I know that's been a question you've had over a number of years, but it's not a change to the accounting at the
At the
Sorry
fund
to hear
level. But now you at least know what the number is, and you have a calculation by employee by position, so.
Thank you.
So that was those were the accounting policies that were adopted during the current year. And so just a reminder that the financial statements are the responsibility of management. We did receive representation letters that we received all of the needed information, all the related disclosures. A lot of times there's contracts, et cetera, that go through, that are signed, that maybe don't flow through the accounting system, like the checks that need to be disclosed. And so we've received all of that. And the only part of the statements that belongs to Eisner Amper is related to the audit opinion. And so really the only new footnotes that are included are related to the restatement and the compensated absences. Everything else was pretty consistent. Other significant estimates relate to retirement benefits and payouts for pension and things like that. We do look at those from an actuarial perspective to make sure that the assumptions used are reasonable and consistent, and we had no issues there.
Great.
We are also required to issue two other reports. One is what we call the Yellow Book report, which is for compliance with state laws. And then we're also required to issue a report this year over the major federal programs. Y'all had expenditures of federal programs of approximately $3.9 million for fiscal year 2024. The majority of that was related to the COVID funding for ARPA of the $2.6 million, and then some lingering FEMA money that was recognized on the schedule of federal awards this year of about $1.3 million. So this year, the program that we audited as what we call a major program, that's the one we go in and look at the compliance testing and issue an opinion over, was the ARPA money. We did issue a clean opinion over that program through that testing. And just to report, there were a few what we have to report as findings, and so there are two types of findings. There's significant deficiencies, which are basically those that are more related to control matters that we needed to disclose, and then there's material weaknesses. Material weaknesses means that there potentially was an error that would have been in the financial statements if it would not have been identified. So material weakness is by far the most severe. Significant deficiency is a reportable matter. One thing that we have to point out is all findings that have to be evaluated for the different thresholds, but they also have to be in writing now. So the days of being able to verbally communicate things and not include them in the public document, that's not allowed anymore. So we did include those in here. There was a significant deficiency regarding the ARPA budget at year end. And then there was one for state compliance related to public bid law, and then one related to ARPA for public bid law. And that was a matter of the documentation being available like all together in all the pieces for all the vendors. And so those are disclosed in here. And then because of the federal awards and the complexities that come with the ARPA reporting and the FEMA reporting and when that gets recognized on the CFA and how that's reported as revenue in the financial statements, we did have a finding over the preparation of the CFA, which is the schedule of federal awards, just because, like I said, there's a lot of complexities in determining that and then getting those numbers finalized so that we can make our assessment for which program we have to audit. And so those are included in here as well, along with management's responses to those findings. that kind of concludes the results for the audit. For the statewide agreed upon procedures, that's also something that we're engaged to do by the legislative auditor, and that includes certain areas that they want us to look at as far as like best practices. And so those were included in here. One thing to point out with that is we do not issue an opinion. This is negative assurance. It's yes, no. There's no materiality. There's no auditor judgment. Either it's there or it's not. There's no thresholds for evaluation. There were 2 small findings that we did not feel that met the criteria for significant deficiency or material weakness, and those are included in here as well. So, overall, it was a smooth audit. There was a lot of information to be gathered this year with the federal programs that has increased y'all's financial reporting as well as y'all's external reporting. And so there was a lot that had to be gathered, and the information comes from a lot of different departments, not just the finance department, but multiple departments and multiple areas. And so we would just like to say thank you for all the assistance that we had with the audit this year, and we appreciate being able to serve the city of Harahan.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you the person to correct a mistake on a report?
I am the signing partner.
Okay. So has the Harahan Police Department been cleared from not being over budget? It was reported to the state auditor that the Harahan Police Department was over budget. The Harahan Police Department was not over budget. I've been told this can't be corrected. Spoke with my attorney this afternoon. There's already case law that it can be and it has to be fixed. I received a call from Mr. Todd next to me saying that there was a mistake. I still don't know what the mistake was. But the Harahan Police Department was not over budget. We were under budget by $80,000 that was given back to the city. That has to be corrected. If not, we'll take it to 24. But it has to be corrected. There is case law. So it needs to be corrected that the Harahan Police Department was not over budget. If it's not corrected, then we'll take it to 24. It has to be corrected. I asked at the meeting last time. I sent an email earlier this week. I was told it can't be corrected. Well, my attorney advised me this afternoon, it can be corrected and it must be corrected, because you can't send a report to the state auditor knowing that it was fraudulent and it wasn't correct.
Can I ask a question? What was the budget that you reported to the state that we ended up, our budget we approved, the council approved? What was the budget?
It was specific to the ARPA fund.
No, I'm talking about our operating budget. What was our operating budget? It was 9.5? What was the budget that the council approved?
1 second. The general fund for the expenditures or the revenue?
The
The expenditures?
the budget for, like, the police department budget and
So the budgets that are presented in here aren't broken out by the police department.
talking about the whole city.
Okay, so the whole city, budgeted revenues were 5.3 million, total expenditures were 9.1 million.
Then how did the Harahan Police Department get said that we were over budget if it's not broken out?
I'm
I
not,
figured
I
somebody had to
don't
have
have,
told you this was coming.
but that's not included in
Okay.
this report
All right.
for me to speak on
The
tonight.
city budget was like $9.5 million. That was for the whole city.
Okay.
The police department was like 2.9. I don't have the numbers in front of me. The fire department was 2.1, and the mayor was whatever. You know, each department has a budget, and the budget approved by the council was like
Yeah.
9.5 million. What was the final number of the budget? What, was the city over? I know the chief said he was over. He wasn't over originally because he underspent his money, but he shows he was over. What was the city's final budget? I'm looking at the numbers in here. They show we spent $10 million. The budget was $10 million.
That, I'm looking at page 57 of the financial statements, but it's showing that your total expenditures were 9.4 million, and so your overage was 3.9 million, but y'all had transfers in from other funding related to FEMA and ARPA. So there was some some reconciliations
No,
that had to be done between the funds.
Auburn was used for we use that for capital money.
Yes.
I'm talking about
But
the
the capital
operating.
money will still show up.
I'm talking about operating money for the city.
Okay.
There's a mix of funding.
I don't believe that these schedules are that granular for that,
There's a
for me to
mix-
answer that.
There's a mix of funding, is
I'm
what
not
she's
talking
trying
about
to
mix
say.
of fund, I'm talking about to operate the city. Yeah,
Does-
operation for the city, each department gets operating, he got I can't remember what it was, I don't know what the numbers. The budget was $9.5 million. I was just looking at the numbers here, and I just asked the clerk. It says actual funding, I gotta find my numbers. I got so many papers here. And I asked the question, it said actual funding for 24 was $10,117,000.
That's revenues?
That was expended, let me see.
Okay. Find the page. Page 1 of the budget, column E,
I'm trying to find page 1. I've got so many pages to
line
get.
19 or line 20
What
is
page,
revenues.
Jason? Sir, what page?
Page one.
Page 1 of the budget.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're looking at the budget, not the audit report. I'm sorry.
That's what that's what he's bringing up.
Okay. While he's looking that up,
Yes.
on page 57,
Trying to find it.
is this just, does this compare to our general fund?
Yes, this is what's reported as the general fund budget
Where is-
actual.
did I give
Okay,
it to
so
you?
this is a comparison of general fund revenue and expenses for 2024, budget versus actual.
Correct.
Where the hell's the page?
Is it fair to say that we had a budget surplus in the general fund of $268,000?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, I found it. The expenditures was 9.837. Our budget was 9.5. Did we go over 300,000 on our budget?
We had a surplus at the end of the year, right?
That's what I just confirmed with the auditors. We have a surplus, meaning we spent
What we collected?
less than we ended the year better than we went in.
Right.
So
We went
But that
in-
had to do
the
with
net
some-
of our expenditures and
I
our
see that,
revenue.
I see that,
Wait,
Tommy.
hold on.
We got
Okay,
10,
I'm
so
sorry.
we
Fund
collected 10
balance is
million.
$281,707.
We
we-
overspent, but we overcollected.
We got more, I'm not saying we didn't get
Okay,
more
well,
money.
I'm
I'm just
just-
saying,
yes,
we
sir.
budgeted 9.5 and we went over.
What is the point?
We got,
We
my
have a
point is,
surplus of funding.
I'm not-
We overcollected, there's a surplus of funding. I don't know what the point
that's
is.
the way you run a business?
Can I ask you,
overspend your
can I
budget?
ask you a
You got a
question?
budget for your business, you
Excuse me, I'm
overspend it?
talking.
I was talking when you interrupted me.
Well, I was answering a question
No, I
for
was
you, my
talking when you
friend.
interrupted me.
Anyway, Todd, who made this error in the budgeting? How was the error made?
So there was no error in the budgeting.
Okay.
So the budget amounts on page 57
Yes.
are the budget amounts that the council approved in a public meeting
Okay.
in December.
Right.
The actual amounts reflected on page 57 for all the line items are the actual amounts that the city prepared as we closed out the year after year end in preparation for the audit, and that were audited by the city's external auditors. So there was no mistake. The budget amounts are estimates, and there are differences between the actual amounts as the year-end amounts were closed out by the finance team and audited by the external auditors. And there were differences between those amounts and what we projected when the budget was approved by the council in December.
That seems shady, but anyway, why did you call me then and tell me that you apologized for making the mistake? And now you're telling me there was no mistake? Something's going on here.
So,
Well, maybe what needs to happen, maybe I need to call for a state audit for the last 10 years of this administration. This is my name, my reputation on the line here.
Ed, I understand, and I'm trying to understand where this was and how it was made. And this nice young lady was up here trying to give us what we need. And I think that, if there's a correction to be made, or, there's a statement needs to be made publicly, then we'll make sure that happens. But I'm just trying to understand where, the error or report difference was made. So if it's an adjusted, right? Am I correct in saying that? It's an adjusted amount?
Was there a finding for a budget act regarding an overage of about $223,000?
That was related to the ARPA specifically.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question, and maybe you can help clarify it. I've heard that a report was filed with state legislative auditors saying that the police department was over budget. I don't know where that comes from. I know the chief hasn't seen it, he's heard it. Was there anything submitted to the legislative auditor that indicates the
that-
police department was over budget?
Not that I'm aware of. The only thing that was filed with the legislative auditor was this reporting package with the financial statements and the statewide AUP,
And the only,
from our perspective.
I'm sorry, and the only budget act finding regarding the 5% rule was ARPA?
Correct.
I don't understand then why Todd would call me, and then the mayor called me 30, 40 minutes later, apologizing that there was an error. So this was just for fun? It doesn't seem, something doesn't seem right. But if you're telling me that the Harahan Police Department was not over budget, then I'll deal with that. But it's very interesting that I get a phone call apologizing to me for a mistake that to this day I still don't know what it was about.
So is the Harahan Police Department was not over budget, is that correct?
I didn't look at that
You don't have to bring.
at that level.
You don't
I
have
look
to
at it
break
at the fund level.
Right.
I don't drill necessarily into the department level for reporting purposes.
And is it feasible for us to ask you to do that, to look at that particular department, or it's something out of your realm?
I know Todd has the schedules with the information, with the final budget and the details.
Can we have them look at this as well, so we can clear this up?
It's gonna cost you money to do that.
I mean, the man's name's on the line apparently, so we want to clear it up. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think we need to.
I mean,
get
I
the
think,
answer.
I think it needs to be cleared up. If it's an independent auditing agency, I think it needs to be done.
Agreed.
If he's made a mistake and apologized for it, and, I don't know what's going on, but, just like him, he doesn't know what's going on, I think we need an independent audit.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
whether that costs, what it costs, I don't know what it costs, but I'd like to at least look at
I mean,
that.
I think that's something that could happen. I don't think that's a decision that's made tonight, in my personal opinion.
I understand.
But I think that's something that we could dig into
But
and
I
dig
think-
further
I
and
think
get to the
that-
bottom of it, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what we need to start with is whatever the alleged report was, because, we've all heard about this, unfortunately, but we haven't seen anything, and what we're learning tonight is there's nothing that the audit report, which is all what you sent to the legislative auditor, correct?
Correct.
There's nothing in here, I flipped through it pretty quickly, it's 66 pages, so.
We could do our own independent audit and get to the bottom of this, yes.
That's all I'm saying. I think it needs to be done.
Well, I
think it
appreciate
needs- Look, Ed,
And
we're gonna
Ed,
get to the
your
bottom of
concerns
this.
are reasonable.
And we want to make sure that you are cleared and your name's cleared and that we know what in fact did happen.
Right.
So,
Agreed.
I'm all about it. Okay.
So I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
They're probably in a report.
Sure.
I found a lot of information, but
I know it's a lot of pages.
it is, quite a report. Good work. The sewer fund is kind of a pet project of mine. I looked at this and thought that the sewer fund had I'm gonna call it a net operating surplus. When I take, on the revenue side, in my mind, I take fees, I take the property tax, and then I subtract operating expenses, and I came up with a couple of $100,000 of cash flow surplus from operations. Can you tell me if that number is?
So again, there's two parts to that. we don't really report at the department level, and second of all, it sounds like if you're taking cash receipts and cash disbursements, you're missing some of the, like the accruals for receivables and other payables that might need to be factored into that fund. So there could be some, some variations of what the numbers are when you book some of those journal entries to get it to like an accrual basis. So I think, again, if you're looking at department level information, that's gonna have to come from the finance department.
Okay.
And Mr. Tom, to put your
do
mind
that.
at ease, just so you know, we worked on that this week, as a matter of fact. You'll see it on the, when we have the meeting on the 4th. We will actually, I think and I'm gonna use round numbers, the general fund or the capital fund was owed by the sewer fund around 800,000 or so.
733,000.
Well, so we just paid them back 400 of it,
Great.
so it's more than half.
Which was one of my questions, too.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you. We'll get to the bottom of it. I just wasn't sure. I looked at something that kind of indicated that here in the is it the proprietary fund? Is that our sewer fund?
Yeah.
Governmental accounting is strange.
There's a lot of factors that go into it to get to the
Thanks.
ending numbers, but, all
Thank you.
Thank you.
right, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Chatelain to amend the agenda to bring up proposed ordinance number 2025-13. I have a second by Councilman Riggs. We'll open for public hearing. Anybody want to speak for or against, please come forward. No one coming forward. All in favor?
Yeah.
To amend, right?
Yep, we're amending to move
To
it,
amend,
to move it to
yes.
now.
Yeah.
Yep. Madam Clerk, please amend the agenda. Mr. Aiken?
Okay, proposed ordinance number 2025-13. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1918 to fill in the blank dates on section 4-3.
Council, this is a, are you going to open public hearing first, or going to do council discussion?
Well, we opened public hearing, we voted on it.
Yes.
This is an ordinance to amend a franchise agreement that was approved 5 years ago, 4 years ago?
21.
2021. There was a missing blank that wasn't filled in, and so for Energy to now accept that, we need to fill in that blank, and that's all this is. I would move for favorable approval. See if Mr. Jimmy has anything to say.
Unless y'all have any questions for me or whatnot.
I don't believe it's up for renegotiation. Can we renegotiate the rates at this point? I
No.
don't think-
Unfortunately, no.
You're Entergy's rep,
Yes, sir.
is that correct? So one of my biggest concerns is along the River Road for the residents. You have a lot of poles leaning in that particular area along there, and it is a major thoroughfare. And I don't know if you can address that. but
Absolutely.
I'd surely, I understand that you are, in fact, making the grid a little stronger and doing that in some areas. But that is a grave concern, I think, to a lot of people along that roadway, because it is an escape route for, residents in Hurricane and things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
For your house, right?
I
It's
do.
not my house, it's down the street from
I
my
do have some comments to make, and start out by saying, 4 years ago, I voted against this because the contract is literally one-sided. And I had a conversation to speak to Mr. Atkins this afternoon. There are no deliverables at all by Energy. Our 25-year franchise agreement says allows them to come into Harahan, but it doesn't say, for instance, they'll actually sell electricity to us.
I do have a question for you in that. On this contract that I'm looking at that was voted in 2021, it does say, and I'm just going to read it from there, distribution, delivery, and/or sale of electric services throughout the municipality.
Well, what does it say exactly? Hold on, let me get a copy of the ordinance.
I know when we spoke earlier on the phone, you had asked or said that we didn't have any deliverables on.
Is that in the one
actually
that we're
selling.
looking at?
It is in the
Question.
ordinance, or excuse me, it is in the franchise
Let me-
agreement.
Let me get to it, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what line are you looking at?
If you look right there in the opening statement, I can read it for you.
No, just tell me what line, you have line numbers?
I don't have a line
Okay, well
number.
then,
It's right
is it
there
in-
in the first body of the first paragraph of the body, after it says, set forth herein below grants to the company its successor and assigns a franchise right and privilege for a period of 25 years from the date of adoption hereof to distribute, deliver, sell, and supply in such a manner as it chooses electric services throughout the municipality and to the inhabitants therefore, or to any person, firm, or corporation, the right to acquire, construct, operate,
Let me
maintain.
interrupt you. I understand what that says. It says we give you the right to do it.
Right, but you're saying,
It doesn't say that you will do it. So we're granting energy the right to sell electricity for 25 years. But if something would have happened at corporate structure or something, you guys can walk away because you have no deliverables in here. It's a one-sided contract.
okay.
What you normally see in an agreement like this is, we're gonna let you sell and you're gonna provide. Yeah, and it's absent to that. It was written by your corporate attorneys. We talked about this on the phone this afternoon. I understand why this was put in front of us in the form that it's in, but you don't say in here that you will provide electricity to the city for 25 years. We say you can do it. You don't say you will do it. You won't find it in here. I may have missed it because I didn't read it closely today. I read it 4 years ago.
Okay.
And nothing's, I'm told it's the exact same document. I didn't proof it to what the council approved 4 years ago. And as I mentioned to you earlier, and this goes to what you said, Mike, there is no standard in here to determine the level of maintenance for you to maintain your system. And you explained to me today on the phone, and I'm sure you're correct, that the standards are set at the state level.
By the LPSC, that is correct.
Well, that's correct, and I'm not going to debate that. It makes
Okay.
sense. Then we should see something in here that you're going to maintain it in accordance with those levels. This contract's with us. It's not with the state. So again, it's a very one-sided contract. We give you the right to come in here for 25 years and sell us electricity. And you give us, in writing, obligations of energy, nothing. And I don't think this is an insurmountable big problem. But first you have to recognize you provide the city nothing.
So when we spoke, all you would like to see in this contract basically is saying that we're going to sell you power, is what you were asking.
I mentioned three things, and I'd have to go back and find my notes from 4 years ago. But one is that you will sell us power. Two is, I'd like to know the standard by which y'all are maintaining your system. I've driven down River Road also and seen the posts Councilman Ricks is talking about. We got poles leaning like this. I'm not sure how big an angle that is, but it's a pretty big angle. And they've got transformers. They look like they're going to fall over tomorrow. And so I don't know that they're being maintained to what standard are you maintaining the equipment to?
So I will say this, only from personal experience. I have called at the state level, and Entergy has, been, I guess, informed of these things from the Public Utilities Commissioner, and they will respond to the Public Utilities Commissioner. Am I correct?
That's correct.
If he calls.
But I respond to y'all as well,
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
from a municipality standpoint or a parish standpoint, and that's across 58 parishes that we cover and the municipalities throughout the state.
And again, you know that energy maintains to a standard. Y'all have a standard. I'm assuming y'all maintain to that standard.
That's
I'm not
correct.
questioning that. But there is a standard. And if you can ask me to approve an agreement that's going to be in effect now for 21 years, because we're going back to 4 years ago, 2021, and somebody says, what's energy providing the city? I'm going to say nothing.
Can I ask you a question? So we're amending this agreement right now? Is
All
that-
you're doing is amending to sign the agreement that was agreed upon 4 years ago. Now, in that agreement, we agree to pay you a 2.5% franchising fee that you've been getting paid for the last 4 years.
Which is
So,
correct from the
listen,
residents, correct?
But it's a pass-through
It's a
from the
pass-through.
residents to
Yeah,
y'all.
It's not
to the-
coming out of energy pocket, it's coming out of the citizens' pocket.
Understand?
Yeah.
So my question is, in doing this agreement, or can we improvise an agreement where there are some standards put in place on this agreement? And I'm
So-
asking this, I understand we already agreed to it, I wasn't here when we did.
Okay.
But I'm asking, as far as maintenance and fortifying the grid, which you are already doing, I believe.
That's above my pay grade. Like, I would have to speak with my attorneys, like, your attorney would then have to do that, so then we would have to defer this until a later date.
This
But
could
it's,
be-
but
This could be resolved in about a 5-minute phone call. And I'll be happy if
you
the
want to
mayor
come speak on
allows.
it? This is my boss, so she can come speak on it if she wants.
All the
to
heat's
speak
off of
once
you.
again.
Hi, good evening.
good
Thank you
night.
so much, Mayor, Council. We really appreciate the opportunity for being here. We do have standards, and we do have to respond. That's why the Louisiana Public Service Commission, we have to, we're obligated to serve. We have certain standards that we have to adhere to. We have to provide reports to the LPSC. And, we have served this great state of Louisiana for 100 years. For 100 years, we have served the state of Louisiana. And we would love to continue to serve the city of Harahan for the next 25 years as well, and longer. So, what we're asking is, and the purpose of the franchise agreement, which is what Jimmy was, really trying to explain, is you're giving us the right for us to have our infrastructure in public right-of-way. That's what the agreement is for. It's not an agreement for, to set standards or to say, you should adhere to this or adhere to that, because the Public Service Commission already has that set with us.
Well, I guess my point is
Sure.
that I understand we already had this agreement signed, and, we're clarifying.
It was approved, yes, by the
Yeah,
council.
we're clarifying some
I'd
details.
like to clarify, I'm giving you a permission to sell electricity.
Correct. You're
In
giving us,
addition to maintaining your right-of-ways and all of that.
correct.
And I understand, there's no consideration in this agreement. In contracts, you have to have consideration, both parties, in order for a contract to be enforceable. Your attorneys will know this. There's no consideration. Harahan is giving you rights and telling you you can sell, and you're giving Harahan nothing in this agreement. It simply, I believe, it simply needs to say a few things, that you're gonna sell us electricity for the term of this agreement.
Right.
I believe it wouldn't be difficult, there are standards, way over my pay grade, that y'all are required to maintain your
That's
equipment to.
correct. That's correct.
Whether it's a state law, whether it's a document, it can be put in here. You can give us what I'm asking for. You can tell me that the rates you charge our citizens and the city are gonna be those rates as what? Established by the Public Service Commission?
That is correct. That's exactly
That
how
can
it
be in
reads on.
here.
Well,
There's nothing in here right now.
It's not, but we can point you back to,
Just hold on for one
Yeah.
second.
Yes, but go ahead.
So, we're binded by this agreement currently till what year?
so it was approved in 2025, so we're just amending the signatures, really.
It was never executed.
So,
Right,
It was never executed, which is what we needed to do.
right. So
So-
the signature, so yeah, 25 years from 2021.
right, so I guess my question in regard to this is that, from Entergy, is there any form of, maintaining this thing as far as a guarantee from Entergy where we are provided the upgraded services, where we're fortifying the network to have these things like on River Road done, or do we need to go out and mandate our own calls to the Louisiana Public Service Commission to get these things resolved?
No, so there's a couple of things. I mean, I did hear, and I took notes of
I'm
the
gonna
leaning
interrupt
posts.
a second.
Please.
I drive down Colonial Club Drive 2 weeks ago. Energy trucks are everywhere changing light poles.
Yeah.
They're in the area. I mean,
Yeah.
we drove past your office. They're changing light poles
Oh,
over
yeah.
there to
Look,
these
I-
massive
look,
poles.
I
mean,
understand.
They're doing their job. I'm not going to sit there and
I'm not
say.
questioning
I understand your question
I'm
on the
not questioning
contract,
the
but I can
energy.
sit right here and tell you. I drive through Old Metairie. I drive through Harahan. I drive through Airline Park. I see these massive poles going up a lot of places.
This is not a criticism at all.
And y'all
of
are
the
doing a
service you
job,
provide.
Right.
I'm just
Thank
saying
you.
that we're being asked again, and for the same reasons I voted against it 5 years ago, because of the form of contract, not the willingness to do it, not wanting to get it resolved. You provide nothing in a 25-year agreement to the city.
Well, I think.
There are no deliverables.
I think, I understand what you're saying, but, I mean, they're maintaining the grid, they're modifying the grid, They're delivering power. They've been delivering power for the last 25 or 50
Then-
years.
100 years.
If we don't-
100
And they're
years.
gonna continue to deliver power, because if they don't deliver power, they can't get paid, and they don't get paid, they're out of business.
And we are a regulated utility, so our regulator demands.
I've had a very big experience with the Louisiana Public Service Commission and Entergy.
You're asking us for a reason to give you a 25-year agreement to sell us electricity, not just to maintain your right-of-ways. You've got an agreement in here that we say you could sell us electricity, which means we couldn't, if we chose to, go out and try to get an alternative provider.
Actually, this is not.
We would be contractually obligated
That
to you
is,
guys.
I would like to correct you, this is not an exclusive agreement. This agreement, you're basically giving Entergy the right for us to not only build, maintain, and have our facilities in public right-of-way. It is not an exclusive agreement. Not that we want the city of Harahan to consider another utility. We would like to continue to serve the city of Harahan, but it's not an exclusive agreement.
Right. It's a franchise.
It-
It's a franchise.
Okay. So is it I'm gonna ask you a question. Is it unreasonable to ask Energy to put in here that you will sell us electricity during the term of this agreement? Use the exact same wording, we're giving you the authority to sell. We're telling you you can sell. I'd just like you to say, and you will sell to us, one, and two, say what standard, by reference, you maintain the property to, and by what standard the rates we will be charged on.
We can, the reason why we don't put it in the agreement was because now the agreement won't be 2 pages, right? It would be,
No,
multiple.
it's 3
pa-
sentences.
But basically, what we can do is point you to the LPSC regulation that now is requiring us to provide you certain level of service, to design at a certain
That's
standard,
today.
to maintain a certain level of reliability. All of that is set by the LPSC. So we can definitely point you to where that is.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna take this as your answer to me, and I'm not offended, as a no, that we couldn't add 3 sentences to this. You will not put in writing, Energy will not put in writing any deliverables to the city of Harahan. You're asking for a 25-year right to sell us electricity and have a franchise agreement, and you have no deliverables to the city. I just think that's a very one-sided agreement. And we could talk about it for 3 hours. I'm not gonna change your mind, you're not gonna change my mind. So that was my comment for the council.
I do,
Buddy,
go ahead,
I'm sure she would be
please.
more than happy to come back and we can set up a meeting if you want to sit down. and
I'd like to do
discuss
that.
Would love to.
another time.
Miss Anna, what's
I'd
your
like
last
to
name?
do that, and this, again, I know from experience that these issues can be resolved in about 5 minutes, reasonably quickly. It's not, all it is putting what you're telling me in good faith, and I believe you, and I have no qualms about Energy serving Harahan. I'd just like to see that in the document. I like clarity, I like specificity. You've got some things in here that we're guaranteeing to Energy for 25 years. And if somebody asked me what Harahan gets out of this, I'd say, nothing.
Electricity.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't.
Can we,
Not by this agreement.
Gail Orellana, GALE -ORELLANA.
Thank you.
So that's my comment, and this can be resolved in about 5 minutes. But,
I move for the call.
but
for
if
the
there's, the answer is no, we're not gonna change the document, then the answer is no.
but it's a franchise agreement that you can buy from anybody you want. If they don't provide, you can go
Well, I
to
don't think it
Clico
says
or
that.
whatever.
I
I know,
don't-
but
this says-
it doesn't say you're locked into Entergy as well.
You're not.
If I may briefly speak,
Sure.
it's my opinion that this ordinance was already approved 3 years ago, and I think as a council and as a city, we should honor that and just make the corrections and fill it in and move forward. If we want to renegotiate the full franchise agreement, then we can try to do that in a different venue.
Right.
But like you said, I don't think it's happening tonight, so I would
I
prefer
would beg
to.
to differ with you, sir, only in the sense that when you have an opportunity to renew to fix an error, you do it when you have the opportunity. It's not an error. It's not an error. It
Well,
was approved by the council 4-1.
Right.
But it requires council approval again today. And this council, not all of the members which approved it when it was first approved, has an opportunity to revote. And again, what I'm suggesting we do is pretty simple. And I'm not asking you to do anything that you haven't told me you're going to do. You're gonna maintain it to a standard, you're gonna sell us electricity, and I can't remember the third thing right now. The rates are gonna be those are set by the State Public Service Commission.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yes, sir.
So in this franchise agreement that's right in front of us, does every city in Louisiana have the same franchise agreement?
That is the
Is there any difference in any city, in any parish in Louisiana that has a different agreement that's been set forth in front of them?
This is the franchise agreement template for every municipality. The only changes that are from one municipality to another is term and franchise fee, because that's determined by that particular government body.
Okay, so is the term typically in every parish in Louisiana 25 years?
At a minimum, 25 years, some have gone longer. You asked about parish. Parish-level agreements have a different template.
Yes.
And so, we recently signed a franchise agreement with a parish for 90 years.
Okay, and also this franchise agreement fee,
Yes.
is this a standard amongst these agreements?
Between 2 and 2.5%, in what we call old legacy ELL,
Right.
which is, Harahan will be one of them. Baton Rouge West, they usually would do a different fee, but in this part of the state, yes, 2.5%.
So by far, we are in the standard.
Correct.
And collecting the highest franchise fee of between 2.5%, correct?
Correct.
And so this is the standard agreement that you put in every city.
Yes.
In every parish in Louisiana.
Every municipality uses this template.
Every municipality has the
Yes.
same exact
And
agreement.
every parish uses the same template for a parish-level franchise agreement.
Thank you very much.
So clarification, the template, this is the document that every parish has signed.
Every
without
municipality.
modifications.
Except for term,
Yeah.
except for
Right,
term
except for
and
term
franchise
and
fee.
franchise. The franchise fee is just a pass-through.
It
It's
is,
not Energy's money.
it is, and is set by the government body.
Correct.
I'll call for the vote.
Yes, let's vote.
I did too.
I just want to say, Mr. Aiken is very responsible, and he's been a real pleasure to work with. He is by far my most favorite. If I could figure out a way to hire him, I would take him on my staff. But since they have a hiring freeze on me, I can't hire you. But he is the man, and y'all, when I call him, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's reading my mind, because he's in the car, already on the way to going to fix what we need fixed, and I thank you for that. It's really important, and the citizens really, really enjoy that, so thank you.
Move to approve.
Thank you both.
All right, we have a motion.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
We have a
Thank
motion
y'all.
by Councilman Asbill to approve. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas? 4 yeas, 1 nay.
One day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Keep my lights on.
Yeah, yeah. If it's okay if you turn Mr. Buddy's lights off, just keep eyes on.
All right, y'all ready? We're moving on. We're going back to approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on July 17th, 2025.
Move to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Council Chatelain to dispense with the reading of the minutes. We'll open for public hearing. Anyone want to come speak for the minutes? No one coming forth will close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent. Madam Clerk.
Hold on, I'm making that note. Okay, approval of the minutes of the council meeting on July 17th, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain to approve those minutes. We'll open for
Chatelain.
public hearing.
Chatelain's not
Not
here.
here.
I'm sorry, Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Riggs.
Thank you.
We'll open for public hearing. Anyone will speak for or against the minutes? No one coming forward. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay, nay?
Yay. Thank you.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, those minutes are approved.
Communications, reading of the minutes of the planning and zoning meeting on August 6th, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning meeting on August 6, 2025 by Councilman Riggs. We have a second by Councilman Asbill. We'll open for public hearing. Anyone want to come speak for or against the minutes, please come forward. No one coming forward. We'll close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
Approval of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning meeting on August 6, 2025.
We have a motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Chatelain to approve those minutes. We'll open for public hearing. Comments speak for or against, no one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. All in favor to approve those minutes?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Okay, we have no resolutions, ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2025-9. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Chatelain. An ordinance amending ordinance number 2018, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana.
Okay, anyone want to speak on proposed ordinance number 2025-9? Please come to the podium. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. Council discussion.
Council, I'd ask that we defer this to the special meeting already set for September 4th.
So we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to defer. We have a second by Councilman Buddy. We'll open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak for or against the deferral? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor to defer?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, 2025-9 is deferred to September 4th meeting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Proposed ordinance number 2025-10. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Ricks. An ordinance amending ordinance number 2018, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025 for the Capital Project Fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana for a memorial wall pump.
Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask the councilman to withdraw this ordinance. I fixed the memorial pump. The funding is no longer needed. Do I have a motion to withdraw?
Yep.
We have a
You
motion
still
by
have to open for
Councilman
public
Asbill.
hearing, I think. You still got to open it for public hearing.
We'll open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak on the pump for the memorial on proposed ordinance 2025-10? No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. Madam Clerk, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to withdraw
Second.
and second by Councilman Ricks. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you.
Proposed ordinance 2025-11. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
I'll second.
Ricks. An ordinance approving the application of a building permit on substandard lot 50-C Square 4, Hickory Haven subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, at the address of 1604 Hickory Avenue.
Okay, anyone wanting to speak on proposed ordinance 2025-11, please come to the podium.
Hi, Carol Barker LaGreco, 101 West Imperial Drive, Harahan, Louisiana. I am going to recommend that the council not pass forward any approval for continuing work on the property at 50C 1604. The actual permit application is not valid, and it was not signed by a certified building official, and it is alleged that the reapplication was forged. Both of the signatures on that application were forged and is not valid, and it is in litigation at this time, and I don't see how the city could move forward with a project when even the inspections are not valid. I don't see any inspections or reports of inspections in the file, and there's no flood elevation certificate on file that's in there, which has to be submitted, and you need to have a floodplain elevation certificate in order to do the work. And to me, the project, we don't even know if the foundation was put in correctly, if the right concrete was used, rebarb was used, nothing. And truly, this project should be torn up and should be started from scratch again. Does anybody have any questions?
So, I believe that, Chris, I'd like to ask you some questions. Does the property which she's referring to, does this meet the standard building code today?
Can I?
What is, just
Call
please.
them up when she's finished.
Before we do that, can we close the public
Yeah.
hearing and
Yeah,
have
we
council
can close
discussion? That can be,
public
yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, if there's anybody else who wants to speak, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, Mike, I just wanted to.
No, it's fine. No, I get it. No, that's not a problem. I just want to get to the bottom of it.
Go
so-
back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I get it.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, Sheriff. Just to get a few facts straight on the property. One, the permit application was not forged or anything. Mr. Sequeria owns multiple properties in Harahan. I'm sure everybody knows who he is. And he dropped it off. He was told to pick it up. There was no underhanded insinuation of anything or fact on his part. Whatever happened in some failed processes within the department to have someone sign the permit when it hadn't been vetted is really has nothing to do with the owner of the property. Second, it's in litigation. There is an issue which is with the, frankly, is before the council tonight of variances with respect to a lot that's a little bit smaller than, so it's called a substandard lot and needs council approval. Mr. Sequeria submitted his application. It was approved. He didn't know. Maybe he could have read the regulations. He didn't know. It wasn't caught, and that's why we're here tonight, is to clear any variances to allow construction to continue. He called for permits, called for inspections, got inspections. At least 3 times there's been a flood elevation certificate done, which I believe are on file. Everything with respect to this property has been done properly except for getting council approval. It's not unlike 4 or 5 buildings within a mile of there that have been built in the last year and a half. I think there's one under construction now. So we ask that this be approved. As far as litigation goes, the litigation is an injunction proceeding based on the lot size and not having council approval. And valid, but that's all it is.
May I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
So the substandard lot that this building is built on, what are we talking about? The width of the lot
I believe it's
itself?
the width. I think it's a couple of feet shorter. I don't have it in front of me, but I think the standard lot is 60 and this is a 51.8.
So it's 9 feet short?
8,
It's 9 feet shorter. So that would qualify it as, and I think the ordinance says that anything that is under 60 feet needs council approval. It's not a prohibition, it's just a council approval matter.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Oh, yes, your name.
Jeff Pratini, counsel for Mr. Sequeria and D-Stop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Getting a second by the council?
Yeah, Mr. Glickman, we're not going to litigate this here tonight.
Well, we don't have to litigate, but some of the statements are incorrect.
Again, the council has, we're not going to litigate. You had your time to speak.
Well, it wasn't 3 minutes, but okay, that
Thank
will
you.
be on record, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, anyone else coming to speak for or against? No one coming forth, we'll close public hearing, and we'll have council discussion.
Can we hear from?
Mike, you can call him up now. You call him. Chris up.
Oh, so Chris, come on, please. So, just introduce yourself so everybody can hear.
Chris Marino, the building official for the city of Harahan.
And you are a CBO?
Yes,
is that
I am a
correct?
certified building official.
Thank you. So I just want to clarify that. So as things have gone on this property, I understand that it's gone awry, and things are not as would be typically on a 60-foot property. But my question is in the building, the man's spent a ton of money to design the building, put plans in, he was approved somehow, but in doing so, what he has on the ground right now, does it meet our current building standard?
This would be giving an opinion because I did not see it poured. I have no photographs to go over or anything like that from when it was installed. It appears to meet code. The retaining wall appears to meet code. The setbacks, with the exception of having a substandard lot, traditionally speaking, if you have a substandard lot and you still meet a higher standard of your requirements, then for in terms of setbacks, he could have built the building to the left and right of the property and built a firewall. He didn't. He's got area to get back and forth from the front of the property to the back. There was an initial question I had, and I went there this morning, and the original plan called for the building to be built 10 feet from the rear property line, and I had not been out there since probably the first week I worked here. And I went back there to make sure that how far back this building was sitting from the residential area on Generis. And he exceeds 20 feet, which would be the requirement that he'd have to meet whether the lot was the right width or not. So it actually exceeds by my estimation about 2 feet if you include the thickness of his retaining wall on the rear of the property.
So, in your opinion, in your professional opinion, the building meets the standards of a substandard building on a substandard lot, right?
In my opinion.
Am I saying that correctly?
In my
Fine.
opinion, if everything would have been swimmingly perfect and approved, and it was approved exactly like it sits out there, the setbacks would beat community standards in Jefferson Parish. And as far as building retaining walls to retain their own water, he does have subsurface capability. It could be checked and verified and increased if it had to be to get water from the rear of the property to the street. But once any property owner gets their runoff to the public right-of-way moving forward, okay, eventually then it becomes the public right-of-way's problem to dispose of the water. And, you know, Hickory's not exactly wasn't planned out with a hydrology study in mind 80 years ago.
Does it in its current form meet our building requirements? Not Jefferson Parish, Harahan's code.
I don't have anything to see, but I don't have any information or photographs to show what it looked like before they poured the slab.
No, I'm talking about dimensions, setback, things that are
Yes.
visual, that you can observe.
It's over 10 feet in the back,
Yeah,
and it's
but-
5-foot requirements from each.
But
side.
otherwise,
Right.
as it's being constructed, not as per the plans, but as it's being constructed, if it had been permitted with drawings of that nature, you would have approved the permit?
If I could go back and, assuming everything went like I wouldn't have approved it without having the council approval. But if he would have had the council approval in the beginning and had the setbacks he currently has now as built on the property, then I don't think I could have turned him down based on where he actually plotted his building.
So, in addition to that, if somebody retains their water, which is a huge thing, and they get it to the street, right? This is the building as it stands with the slab and everything as it is. It will do that, right? All the water will go to the public right away.
As it stands, it should, although I don't have any information on the subs. I went out there and I saw the subsurface where it's to be, where what he has there is installed. However, I don't have any camera or anything like that through the lines to show, you know, there's no rocks or anything like that down in it.
I get it.
But I think that would have to be
I would just like
dealt
to
with
clarify something too. So Chris just started with us a few weeks ago. This is not on him initially. I just want to verify that. And so I'm asking him in his opinion because he was not part of that original approval. So, and also in addition to what we're talking about, the building type, I believe Ms. LaGreco has assumed that this is not a general office and storage facility. And I don't know if you've seen the plans yet, but I believe that's all that's allowed there. Is that correct?
There is, the issue of, it came up in the planning meeting was of a warehouse. One of the pages, and I don't remember which page it was, the word warehouse does appear on the blueprints. If warehouses are not allowed specifically in this location, then that would have had to have been amended in the approval process. No, you cannot put a warehouse here. And you'd have to make some other plans or something else you're going to do with this property. But I'm not equipped to define a warehouse in the strictest legal sense where I'm standing right now.
What is your understanding of the building being constructed, the use for? what is it, the designation? It's not a warehouse, right?
That's not
Or
part
it-
of the building permit, right? The building permit doesn't address use, does it?
The plans say warehouse on the blueprint. That's everybody, that's the worst kept secret in town.
Don't the plans show two doors coming in the front, the overhang doors? That would be a
Yes,
warehouse.
overhead.
Overhead doors, I mean, that's a warehouse. I mean, it says clear as day in the C1, you can't put a warehouse in C1.
Well, just because you have two garage doors doesn't mean you have a warehouse either.
And
I mean,
so you saying it's an office with storage space, that's what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what I'm
That's-
interpreting. In my opinion, when you have two overhead doors and it says warehouse on the plans, that's a warehouse.
Well, it says warehouse on the plans, but just because you have two overhead doors doesn't mean you have a warehouse.
Even though the plans say warehouse?
Well, no, you
Doesn't
said
mean-
you said something different. You said overhead doors versus the word warehouse.
No, I said on the plans.
It says warehouse.
Warehouse. And
Yes.
on the plans, it's got two overhead doors. So I would think that's a warehouse.
Okay, well, I'm going with the word warehouse would say it's a warehouse, not if it has two overhead doors.
Well, I know that, but Matt makes it even more realistic that that's a warehouse with two overhead doors.
Can,
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
And
just-
overhead warehouses are not allowed in C1.
I
And
think,
I think at the Planning and Zoning Board meeting, you had mentioned that you wouldn't even give them the permit.
Well, I wouldn't give them the permit because they didn't go through the proper procedure.
That's the whole thing. Thank you, Chris. This thing has been done wrong from the beginning.
Well, as I
The whole
said,
thing has been done wrong from the beginning.
Right, so I think
You're
that's
right.
what we're here to correct tonight,
Right.
because
That
a
is.
substandard lot is not, is allowed to be built on, it just has to get council approval, right?
Well, I agree.
Right.
I'm not questioning that. You're
No,
100%
right.
right.
I think.
So I think
what's-
we
what's-
can
what's in-
correct that process tonight.
What's in question is
What's in question
use.
is use.
Use, right.
In
And
my
I
opinion,
think-
use is not something you specify on
Correct.
a building permit.
That
Just
is-
because it looks like a warehouse building, doesn't mean it's necessarily gonna be used as a warehouse.
And
Well, all I can say is this. It's in litigation. I think we ought to just defer it and let it
Chris.
move. The Planning and Zoning
wanna-
Board deferred it because it's in litigation.
No,
I
they
think
didn't
this
defer it
council-
technically.
can I
They did
ask-
defer it. I was
can
at
I
the
ask-
meeting.
Not what the minutes say.
Well, I don't know
Go
if
ahead.
the
I
minutes
would
say
ask if we
deferred.
could
I was
call
at the meeting.
Carol LaGreco back up for one moment. if we
I
could.
want to talk real quick. So I went to the property today. We got 5 feet on each side,
voted it down.
the building lot. The building structure, you have 5 feet on each side.
Deferred it to
You have
the
20 feet in the back, you have subsurface drainage that's not finished. My opinion right now, with him stopped, you're causing more damage than if he finished the subsurface drainage and finished his flat work, you'd have the water drain into the street instead of puddling up where it's at now.
Correct.
I believe the process was done wrong. I don't believe the process was done wrong intentionally by the building owner, the contractor, or the person developing the property. It was done wrong by the City of Harahan's administration. So we're here today to resolve this issue.
Who is no longer employed with the city.
Well, what you just said, I agree with you. And it was gonna happen, what's gonna probably have to happen is the developer's gonna have to end up suing the city. Because what you just said is correct. It was done wrong by the person in charge of that department. He did it wrong from the
If
beginning.
we're sitting here saying today that if it goes through council and gets council approval, and they came in with the same set of plans, everything would pass, I think we should be here today trying to give it council approval.
So I would,
So, Chris, thank you for coming up. I'd like to call Ms. LaGreco back up for a minute.
Well, before we
if you
do
don't
that,
mind. Please,
Chris.
please.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna do this.
Chris, I'm gonna ask you to come back up in just a moment. Thank you.
I'll be
very
here.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
Yes, sir.
thank you.
I'm about to eat me a Snickers.
And Carol, I know you well. So, what do you see the future of this building? I mean, what is your biggest argument besides the way it went down? What is the biggest problem for you and this being next to your apartment complexes?
It's a warehouse. It's a commercial building next to 2 residential properties. You have people who own residential condos who have poured their life savings into this property next door. It will reduce the value of their property it will reduce the value of my property. That's considered irreparable harm. And yes, the property is flooding out my property, and there has been some subsurface drainage put in, and there's drainage that goes into the sewer line in the back. There were some drain pipes that were put in that were just laid and concreted over, and then they're just halfway through the property.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Sure.
You said there's drainage pipe going into the sewer line in the back?
Yes.
So if I send someone out there and there's drainage pipes not going into the sewer line in the back, you want to pay for that person to do this study?
Well,
You
I think
they
I
have
have,
drainage lines going into the sewer line?
I believe I still have photographs, and if I can produce those photographs, then I think that should be enough to warrant the fact that you could go and look at drainage. But that is not the most major problem. You know, it's a warehouse. Troy, with Ironworks, planned on buying that from Anthony. And Troy told me that he was going to buy it from Anthony. So that means it's going to be a metalworks building, and somebody's going to be welding next door to 2 residential properties across the street from a church. It does not belong in this area. It is not zoned for a warehouse. It is a warehouse. I don't care what makeup and lipstick you would put on it. It's still going to be a pig. I'm sorry. This is outrageous to have something that is an eyesore to our community. When the mayor ran for office, he said that he was going to make Hickory like a magazine or an Oak Street. Putting warehouses in all up and down Hickory doesn't do anything for us. You know, we have a new map that you're trying to plan for the city, and all this building that we're doing throughout the city isn't going to conform to the things that should be done. And, you know, we have meetings that, you know, we're planning, you know, a new map, and then just you keep approving buildings that are too high, and, you know, buildings that don't conform to, you know, what the city of Harahan has looked like and could be. And I mean, I actually worked on the city of Kenner's Rivertown program for 2.5 years with the city of Kenner. And Rivertown is beautiful. And they do have businesses and they have residents all in the same area, but they did it right. And that's all I'm asking. But you can't take, just because somebody wants to come in and buy a piece of property and as a developer, turn around and make money and then ruin where people live. You know, the rental properties that I own are very nice. I take care of them along with the neighbors who live on the other side of that lot. And it's not like it's a tear down, but when you start bringing commercial in there, you're not going to have residents, and you're going to start having crime.
But it's zoned commercial.
It is not. It's not a warehouse.
But it's zoned
No,
commercial.
no, but yeah, C1, but that's general offices. You know, you could put, I said a business, but it should conform with the neighborhood. It's supposed to enhance our community, not make it, you know, a deteriorated property, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's a metal building. It has no brick front. Like the mayor said, well, the guy across the street did it. Well, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Well, I'm just going to say, you know, in retrospect to this, people think apartments bring home prices down as well. So it's a matter of opinion.
These are townhomes, and yes, that is.
Your opinion is verified. I understand what your opinion is, but the man bought the property. He has gone through approvals. He got approvals from the city. And at this point, I mean, as long as it's not a welding warehouse, it's a general office.
It's not a general office.
Whoever goes to get
You have
your
to have
license at that time would deal with that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
We
Counsel-
have to approve anything that goes in there.
Well, how can you approve it when an application was forged? The signature's on there. How do you even go forward with that?
He has to go through the process again with the new CBO. So, and he has to go through the process again to get this thing verified. My point to you is, is that just because you disagree, people could disagree about your apartment complex as well. But there's property rights. People have property rights. And I understand, look, we don't want that either. We don't want you to have a reduced value to your property. We don't want to incur harm on any property owner.
Well, that's what will happen.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. And
No,
I
it's not my
understand.
opinion.
It is your opinion, because you don't know what's going to look like.
Okay, I move to close the
So,
public
yeah,
hearing.
Let's close it.
I have a question, Chris. Chris,
I have
the
something, Chris.
setback,
Let's get Chris back up, Paul, if
okay.
you would,
Okay, Chris, would you come back
please.
up?
And then you go first. I've got a few questions that I'm sure
Chris,
Chris can help clarify.
in the back, the setback is 20 foot from the apartments, from the houses behind, but they have a 10-foot servitude. So it should be 30. You got a 10-foot servitude,
No,
and you
sir.
got 20 feet?
It should be 20 feet from the rear property line, inclusive of any servitudes that may
And so that's
exist.
including the 10-foot servitude?
Correct. That's to give a buffer from whatever's going on in the business to the residential district behind it.
Okay.
So if Generis wasn't residential, then it could be like a 5-foot setback.
Yeah, well, I know apartments backing up to a house, you had to have a 20-foot, but I thought the 10-foot, so the 10-foot servitude counts as a 20.
The 10 for the existing servitude, which is in this case 10 feet, would be part of the required 20-foot
Okay,
setback.
I just wanted to ask you that question.
Even if it was an AT&T servitude or something like that, that would count to mitigate the noise and whatever.
Okay.
I have a
Let me make one
okay,
thing
go
clear.
right ahead.
Let me make one thing clear. I'm not against substandard lots, but I'm voting against this tonight because I think this has been a cluster from the beginning. It shouldn't have been, this whole thing shouldn't have been given, the permit shouldn't have been done. It's all been messed up. I'm not against substandard lots, but I'm gonna vote against this tonight because this has been, it's in litigation and everything. It shouldn't be, they should table us tonight and wait for this litigation to go through, so.
I have a couple of questions, and I'm not sure who's the best person to answer. Chris, you probably are, but
I'll try.
we got a building. A building's a building. It doesn't say what it's going to be used for. We could build this building out of glass. It could be built out of glass. So at some point in time, somebody's going to occupy the structure. That's when the determination of conformance is met, correct? It's not the building itself that says, now you can occupy it as a warehouse or as an office.
That would be my interpretation, yes. It would be a regulatory decision when somebody
Right.
comes in and says, hey, I want to open a whatever shop here. Is it zoned for it?
This building could be turned into residential.
We
Correct.
dealt with this
So I just wanted that
3 weeks
clarification
ago.
from you.
Someone tried to open another mechanic shop on Hickory. They were turned down because we put a moratorium on mechanic shops right now.
Right.
So when they came in to apply for that, they were turned down because it wasn't allowed.
So to answer your opinion, and my understanding of it is, the structure of the building doesn't determine its use.
That's correct.
Ultimately, the licensing that's done prior to occupancy for whatever its use would be by the jurisdiction
Right.
is
Okay.
would determine it.
So, and I've heard a couple of things here tonight. I'm not sure what the intention is, or what, one of the things the council is being asked to do tonight is to approve a permit on a substandard lot. And there's been some other discussion of the possibility of making some plan changes to conform plans to what's being built, because the current plans are different. The plans submitted are different from what's being built. They're not anything close to as-built. So we're, I guess, potentially looking at, are we considering, or is it being considered by anybody, a reapplication? Council approval and a reapplication.
My motion will be to approve it conditioned upon submitting plans that comply with the code and what's actually being built. So
Well,
you
there's-
heard, for example, the setback on the plans is 10 feet. That's not what was built. And that's good because 10 feet is not within code, right?
Yes, I understand that. There's some other issues that I've heard, and I don't think I fully comprehend all the issues yet. But some other issues were raised about the permit not being approved correctly.
Well, because that's because it didn't come through this council process.
Well, no, because of questions about the people who approved the permit.
Right, but
They're-
but
Now we've got somebody who can approve permits.
the inspector did approve, am I right? Mr. Muhammad? No. Mr. Farrell, who approved the engineering and all that?
You mean the slab or the?
Jack, no, Kevin Jack.
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson,
Approved- Yeah, sorry.
Did the original plan.
Right, he did the plan review and it passed the plan review.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
It went through plan review, and what was approved by Kevin Johnson, who we subcontract out our plan review to, is he did a structural review of what he submitted, and it met the requirements. Okay?
So there's no question about the validity of that.
No, we don't, Kevin Johnson has worked for multiple jurisdictions, and he's been a plan reviewer for almost 32 years.
Yeah.
Okay? His record is impeccable.
So there's no benefit to clarification by resubmitting an application tomorrow? Or would there be? And that's the question.
It would
I
be,
don't know.
it would be a benefit because it went before council approval first.
If the council, from what I understand, is that if the council were to approve the usage of the substandard lot for this project, okay, how we correct, we can't go back in time, how we correct anything would be to go through a review of what is on the property now built, okay, and also correct the set of plans to meet what is out there with the proper setbacks and verify, have a surveyor go out there, locate the improvements on the property within a hundredth of an inch, okay, and resubmit those plans based on what is there now, okay? And then corrections can be made to make sure the property is in compliance with the zoning ordinance and also the building code. And if any changes need to be made, it would be done at that point.
Right.
So you're not approving a building permit, nobody's gonna go
Well, I'm
build a
looking
building
at-
tomorrow
I
if
guess
you
I'm
approved it.
looking at the, there's issues here we're trying to correct.
Correct.
And there may be a fix proposed that we could vote on that is more than just approving this subject to the resubmission of plans. Because these plans that were submitted don't conform.
Correct.
So that's a fix that there's been some discussion to do. And we would, if there was an approval tonight, it'd be approved subject to that. But I'm wondering if it wouldn't be a benefit to just vote on this, which is allowed substandard, building on a substandard lot, but require a new application. And let the process go through clean.
But
And I don't know what the negatives of that are.
I think if you submit a new application, it's gotta go back through the council process.
And that's what I'm not sure of, and I trust your.
I guess from that standpoint, my thought process is, the man spent a ton of money doing what was approved. So regardless, the only thing that we're discussing here is the use.
Which is,
And
which
with
is
what,
not,
Mike?
which is not part of the building
The
process.
only thing we're really discussing here is the use.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Well, you can.
I mean, I think we're discussing the building.
Well, I understand
The use
that.
would come in, whoever applies for whatever they wanna put there at
No,
the
no, but what
time.
I'm saying is that if the building was built and it is in fact an office and storage facility, is there anything we can do about it? No. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying?
No, I
I would
disagree.
think that goes to the,
disagree.
that would go to, when you go to regulatory to apply for your.
My gut is
can pull
that.
it in.
My
Conditional
point,
yes.
my point is if they built a brick building with a front door and 2 windows, right? And it was a general office and storage facility, it would be a different story altogether. What do you think? Whether they got 40 trucks pulling up, unloading boxes, putting boxes in the back warehouse,
I would
it
disagree.
doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter, because if they got warehouse vans pulling up and unloading documents in this thing, or they got 2 bay doors where the trucks back in and unload documents, or whatever it may be, that takes the intention out of what we're talking about. It's a C1 space, The only thing that we have, because he's got rights as a property owner, she's got rights as a property owner, but what I'm saying is, it's just the way it looks. So, are we determining because the way it's got 2 garage doors in the front, that you can't build anything other than another apartment complex?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? Because I think the intention is to approve who goes in there, allow the building to be built, and we, as a council, have the right to determine what goes in.
Regulate the use.
That's right.
My concern is that I don't understand all of this. Here's my concern. There's a lawsuit out there, and it's claiming more than just one thing. And to the extent,
But those things have to be proven in a court of law.
well, no. There may be some merit to some of it. There may be.
Well,
I haven't read the lawsuit in detail. I did review it quickly. I haven't discussed a defense of it. But I'm just wondering what the merit would be to just fast track this, do it properly. If that means that it's got to come back to the council.
But let me just say this. Where does that stop? If you had a lot next to your house, and it's R1, and some guy decides he's gonna put up metal walls and big glass windows, and it's a big modern house, and you're in a nice little neighborhood, what are you gonna do? We're gonna have everybody come and say, I don't like the way that looks?
No, I'm saying
But
no. I'm saying
this
that-
is the precedence of what we're talking about. So I don't like the way this looks, so I'm gonna sue to make it stop.
No, that's not what I'm worried about.
But I'm saying,
I
it's
agree
the
with
same
you.
precedence in what we're talking about. If somebody builds a new house next to your little house that's been there for 500 years, and it's new and they don't like it, this is the precedence we're talking about. Oh, I don't like that, so I'm gonna sue you.
No, well, yeah,
Now,
I mean,
if you go and put an ice cream stand
You can
or
fit me
a
in next
lemonade
week.
stand in it, yeah, then you got a difference of use. But that's what I'm talking about.
20
The
minutes, I'll be
simplified
quick.
version of that is that I don't like what
You?
you're doing, so I'm gonna
You got
sue you and
stars, I
stop it.
don't.
But then, what do we do? And we're opening the can of worms.
I don't think
Anybody
so.
doesn't like anything.
I'm saying if there's any potential issues that can be resolved by reissuing the permit instead of requiring a resubmission of plans, simply that.
But
The chain wall, I don't know
I don't
if,
think.
if it requires a chain wall, then.
The chain wall's there. The chain wall's there. The drainage
It's
is
better
in.
than not having it.
It's, but
Is
what
the
I'm saying
chain wall
is.
there?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is whether that, potential question is whether that drain line goes to a drain on here.
The
That-
drains aren't finished.
Right, but so you would just shoot it, I mean, that's a pretty simple,
That's
inspection.
That is the first, it's not simple, we'd have to camera it,
I
but
know,
it's
I know.
it's the first time I heard
You've been asked
That.
to do more difficult things.
than
you know.
camera, Surlon, yes, I have.
But it's so,
You
so
guys
is,
understand what I'm saying? We're crossing a realm here that we're not gonna come back from.
Oh, you're
If we
not?
start setting a precedent
Chris.
this way, it's
Yes,
gonna be,
sir.
if I
Let me
don't
ask
like
you a
your
question.
building, too bad.
You said all the
I'm ready to
permits were
move
signed,
I'm
Kevin
ready to
Johnson
move
signed the
Yeah, I'm ready
permits?
to vote.
Wait for the man to get.
so Mike,
You said
I agree
Kevin
with you
Johnson
that-
signed
and
everything?
No, Kevin
I
Johnson
agree.
did the
This
plan
property
review.
doesn't
He did not
determine
sign
it.
permits.
So
He doesn't work out of,
Well, Kevin Johnson's
we're-
signature
Excuse me,
was
excuse me,
signed by the
Councilman,
employee
Councilman.
for the
But
city,
it already.
Councilman Johnson.
was a
excuse me.
forge.
Hey, guys.
That's what I'm asking.
come
It
on.
was a forge.
I
He
can't hear.
signed, Kevin Johnson's signature was forged
Is your mic on?
No, I couldn't hear.
by the employee.
Oh, I'm sorry.
from what I understand.
Yeah, so
that is
I don't know
happened
what-
From what I heard.
So you're saying Kevin Johnson signed off on this project over there?
Kevin Johnson signed
Did he
off
sign
on
off?
on an architectural review
Okay.
of the plans.
What did?
Which is what he does.
What permit or what paper did Kevin Johnson's signature was forged on that allowed something to be done? I don't know, because I wasn't privileged to that information.
Kevin Johnson's
think-
name was written on a piece of paper here by someone here.
A
I'm not
co-
saying it was a forged signature, it was written on there.
What you mean?
It was a permit application, the carbon copy permit application that we use, we hope to render obsolete soon, hopefully, because it's
I just
carbon
asked
copy.
you, what was it for? What was?
But we had an email from Kevin Johnson approving the drawings originally.
Correct.
And he didn't approve it.
He approved the
He
drawings
approved
through
the
an email.
drawings.
Someone just wrote on the permit his name, they should have wrote approved by, but they didn't, they just wrote his name.
Okay, Look, I'm ready to vote.
Council, I've got an amendment to this ordinance. I'm going to amend, I move.
Wait, I've got a couple more questions. Have we addressed a parking issue? Are there parking spot questions? I mean, have all the
Depends on what
issues
it
been
is.
addressed as it stands right now?
I don't think
Does it pass the requirements for building on that lot?
parking spot.
For what's allowed?
The parking spaces would have to be addressed because the building, from the original drawings, the building is 10 feet further forward than it was on the plans that are in the file. Okay, so consequently, that that could have interfered with at least one parking spot.
Right, and that.
But it depends on, the required parking depends upon the usage of the building. It will dictate that also. So if you have somebody shows up and wants to rent this building to put a whatever in it, and that particular type of business, a Pedro's isn't gonna go there because they have to have so many parking spots.
Right.
Okay, so they'll be, yes, it would be commercial, yes, it would be allowed, but you'd have restrictions that you couldn't meet to put certain businesses in
That
that.
would be addressed again based upon the occupancy license.
Correct.
Right.
Okay,
But-
so it's not a building permit issue.
Right, but what I'm
Thank you.
saying is,
That's-
what I want to ask next is that being the building is set forward, does it still meet the setback requirements as a development?
Yes.
The building meets the setback requirements, yes.
Okay. So then again, you're very limited to
Who can
your
rent the space?
use and what they can do.
Yeah.
Again, I
Okay.
think it's, it's
Yeah.
pretty simple.
So nobody, we don't think a re-permitting is the best way to go.
I don't think so.
There's no benefit.
I don't think
Yeah,
there's any benefit to it.
I don't see the benefit.
We could
in it
certainly
myself.
do it. I don't think there's any benefit to
Well,
it.
there's no benefit. There's no
Right.
reason to consider it.
It's just
So,
it's a burden.
council, I move to amend section 1 at the end to delete the word deferred and insert the words approve, conditioned upon, owner submitting plans compliant with the code.
And I have one more question, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring it up. Section 1, on line 22, 24, I'm reading this right?
Yes, sir.
The application for building permit on lot 50-C square, et cetera, is hereby deferred.
That's what I'm asking to amend.
We're asking. to
Oh, that's
amend
what
that.
you're- I'm
That's
sorry,
we're
I thought-
asking to amend, yes,
Are you
sir.
taking it out? Say it again how you want it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Unless approved.
Are y'all done with Chris?
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
thank
So,
you, Chris.
so section 1 would read, the application for building permit on lot 50C square 4 Hickory Haven subdivision, City of Harahan Parish, Louisiana, State of Louisiana, is hereby approved, conditioned upon owner submitting plans compliant with the building code.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain, to amend section 1 as stated. We'll have to open for public hearing on the amendment. No one coming forth will close public hearing. All in favor on
They won't come
amending?
up. They trying to come up.
Yay,
We're just amending,
yay.
okay? All in favor?
Yeah, yeah.
Yay.
Nay.
4 yeas, 1 nay. We just amended it. Okay.
Okay, we just made an
Yeah, when he
amendment.
gets to
We
come
just
back
made
up
an
again, he
amendment.
gets to come back, because now we gotta vote on it as amended. So, all right, so we're gonna bring, yep, come on. Well, let me do this, let me open for public hearing. We're gonna open for public hearing 2025-11 as amended. And now you. yes,
My
sir.
name is Joseph Dean. I live at 1608 Unit D, Hickory Avenue. And when someone was saying that, like, was acting like she was the only one with this position she's taken, well, at the zoning meeting, there were many, many, many people, including me, who were speaking against it. So I hope y'all read those minutes from zoning, and there wasn't one person opposed at the zoning meeting. But I stood up to defend that. It was sounding like someone was accusing her of being the only one against this, and there's a ton of people against it, everybody at the zoning meeting, and no one for it. Any questions?
No, sir, thank you. I listened to the zoning, I listened to the zoning meeting earlier this week, and I did hear that.
Yes, thank you.
Carol Barker LaGreco, 101 West Imperial Drive, Harahan, Louisiana, 70123. Several things that I think y'all are missing is on this piece of property, it being a substandard lot, when you do put something in there, this is approximately 3,400 square feet, and at minimum, depending on what you allow it to be, would have to be one parking spot for every 200 square feet. So the amount of space that you have in the front will not accommodate the parking that's required for the size of the building. That in itself. And the plans that Kevin Johnson reviewed, he did not have the application. So all he saw was the plans. And he said he did not know that it was a substandard lot, and he wouldn't have written anything. And the only thing that Kevin had written was that it needed to be inspected, and the fire marshal, and that was it. But when Kevin sent that back, he had not seen the permit application with the signatures. It was all written in one handwriting, and both of the signatures on the bottom of that application were written by the same person. And that means it is not a valid application. And you cannot move forward without a valid application. And that's what I don't understand, why this process y'all are trying to push forward when there is no valid application, period. The council shouldn't even be hearing it. It should go back for resubmittal of an application, and then it can go before the council, and then y'all can try and make whatever decisions at that point. But I don't believe that it's legitimate to try and push forward a project that isn't even, approved by anybody, not one CBO. We have a CBO in the city of Harahan. He can look at it and make that determination and sign off on it, and then it can go through the council. But it has never, from the get-go, been handled correctly. And when I've addressed it since December of last year with Molly, this has just gone forward, and I have tried before a foundation was poured to stop it. And if you read all the emails that I have sent out to the mayor and to the council, I basically begged to have a meeting, to have the council get together and try and figure out what could legitimately be put there, and that we would work with the new owner. But something needed to be done, and the plans needed to be approved with the correct type of building that conforms to the neighborhood. And I'd said in several emails that I was willing to work with y'all, and that's not what I got. I was basically told to go ahead and sue.
But
And
Ms. Carroll, a question.
yes,
There's no requirement that the building that's put there conforms to the neighborhood. It's not
yeah,
a
it says
legal
that
requirement.
in, it says that in the ordinance, 1333, that it's supposed to conform to the neighbor. I mean, that's why you have codes. You have codes, and it's supposed to conform to whatever the standards are in that neighborhood,
The standards are what's in the building code for zoning.
but not a warehouse. And it's a warehouse.
It's structure. I mean, I appreciate where you guys are, but there's nothing in the law that says that building has to conform and look like the condos and apartments in the neighborhood. It's got to be a building that conforms to the.
I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but it's supposed to take in consideration, yes, it is. It's supposed to take in consideration the neighborhood.
Ms. Carroll, how big is your lot? Do you know? The lot
Yes,
that you're building?
it's the same size lot.
Same size lot. And y'all have a structure built on that property?
Yes,
Do you know what year that structure was built on that property?
in 1978,
What was it built as?
it was built as apartments.
And when was it changed to condos?
We didn't change it to condos.
So is your
Next door,
Do
on the
y'all have
other
an
side,
apartment building, or is it condos? Is it
mine are
individually owned?
townhomes that I rent as apartments.
So
The property next door, on the other side of the vacant lot, is residential condos.
So
Okay.
they're
So
individually.
were they
owned retaining
apartments?
walls?
Correct.
Were they apartments and then converted to condos? Do you know that answer?
I don't have that answer. Do you know? I believe they were built
Okay.
as condos.
And yours is one condo, one unit, you own the whole structure, correct?
Correct. I own 4 fourplexes in a row
Okay.
alongside of that
I'm trying to verify
lot.
because I thought you were saying, and I could be mixed, I thought you were saying you had individual owners, but that's the other
That's
side.
the
that
other
has it.
side, correct.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right, thank you.
Yes, and I'd ask for y'all to take a look at the resubmittal of the application, and I had given a copy at the last council meeting, along with the lawsuit, for y'all to review that showed that the signatures do not match.
Carol, what is it that you want? What is it that you want to see there? You want to see another apartment complex? What would you like to see there?
I would like to see whatever's built there be a nice building that conforms to the neighborhood. It could be
I
a
mean,
general,
there's
an
townhouses-
actual off, no, it's a metal building with roll-up doors.
Listen, I'm just asking the question. So, as a property owner, if he put a brick facade on it, would it make a difference to you?
Only if the size were different, because the parking won't conform.
Well,
With the size building,
If I'm
parking-
correct, the use determines the parking, am I correct?
no,
Yes?
no, it does not.
Yes, ma'am.
Read
Yes, ma'am.
ordinance,
I think you're incorrect on
well,
that.
it does,
So,
but,
so
Yes,
I'm
it
gonna
does.
jump deeper than that. So he could have an office building there with 2 garage doors. He could pull 5 cars in there and park 5 cars and have 5 interior parking for his office space.
are you sure?
You can.
Okay, and one office. I thought there was a minimum of 40% office space.
All right.
There's one office in there. That's, and it's 10% of the storage
So I
space.
think all of those concerns are going to
Right.
be addressed when the owner, D-Stop Properties, submits plans compliant with the code.
Correct. I was just
But there's
asking.
no legitimate application. Don't you think he should go back and get another application that's actually signed by a CBO? I think you're putting the city of Harahan in jeopardy when you don't have a CBO sign off on an application.
Carol, let me just ask you once again. If the man put a brick facade on the building and cleared it up to make it look nicer, would you be okay?
No, because the building is too large.
Okay, that's all I was asking.
But a brick facade would make a
I
difference
just
in
wanted to know
the
if-
end,
If
yes.
you were willing to bend, if you're willing to bend, because look, it's a community. And I say it all the time. I say it every month I get up here. It's a community. You know, we're trying to work together. We try and resolve issues.
Well, we tried to do that.
Well,
I
you-
tried to do
understand,
that
but we're-
prior.
This is a new day. This is the first time that we're having a conversation. We're trying to have a civil conversation about this. So my question to you was, if he did a nicer job on the front of the building, would it be okay?
No, because he'd have to restrict the size, because the size is too big.
Okay, well, that's all I need to know.
And if he had a front,
I have no
and
further
it was a building that had a brick facade and not roll-up doors, and it looked like an office building, then that would be different, but it's not.
Well, my point's very simple. Thank you.
I call for the vote on the ordinance as amended.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatterling to call for the vote on 2025-11 as amended per Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Nay.
4 yeas, 1 nay. Madam Clerk?
Proposed ordinance 2025-12. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman, who would like, As-built, an ordinance approving the rezoning of Lot 107, Square 2, Hickory Haven subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, as per a plan made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Cootery Incorporated, dated June 19, 2025, at the address of 2112 Hickory Avenue.
Okay, we have proposed ordinance 2025-12. We're now open for public hearing. Anyone who wants to speak for or against, please come forward.
Ken? Can we do an amendment before we open the public hearing? Because I think that'll, save a lot of time on the public hearing side, because the amendment's going to be to deny rather than to approve. Okay. Yeah, so just so you know, section 1 at the end of it says hereby approved. I'm not sure why it says that. My intention is to amend it to say deny. But please come up and still tell us why we should deny it.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna, if you could pass one of these down. This is just supporting some of the information I'm gonna give you. All right, so my name's Sharon Sagas-Toomey. I live at 2124 Hickory, 3 houses away from the resident in question. And I do need to apologize to people who have heard my speech before, because this is not my first time here. I've talked at the planning and zoning meetings, and I've talked at other council meetings, because this is the 3rd time that there's been a rezoning request in the last 10 years on our block. And our reasons, our objections, and our reasons for objecting haven't changed. We're still very adamant about it remaining a residential block, and I'll tell you my reasons. So my husband and I have lived in Harahan for 40 years. The houses on Hickory in our block, they're not fancy, they're simple, but we're retired, our mortgage is paid off, and if this spot zoning request is approved, we're concerned that it's gonna set a precedence for future rezoning requests on our block and possibly other blocks in Harahan, other residential blocks. We're also concerned about the property value decreasing if part of the block is rezoned, and that would be problematic if we had to sell our house and find a new house to purchase, because if someone were to want to purchase our lots, it would be for the land, not for the house. And then we also have concerns about its validity, and that goes to the sheets I've passed out. So as was discussed with the previous ordinance, this particular lot is only 50 feet wide, and as discussed before, it's for general office multi-use, it needs to be 60 feet wide. So it doesn't even meet the width requirements. Also, there's a paragraph under the amendments to zoning ordinance that talks about a 1-year limitation on zoning petitions. I'm not gonna read it all, but basically, if I'm understanding it correctly, in November of last year, it came up, the zoning request for the whole block was brought before the council. That house is part of that block. So if I understand this correctly, it can't even go up for approval within 1 year. So I may not be understanding it, but that is what I took away from it, and it's in there. And then, of course, in addition to the validity, we're concerned about other things, such as the flooding. I think it was mentioned before about Hickory, that there's a lot to be done, and I know the mayor had said at the last meeting that there are plans to look at the ditches and all that, but right now, it's not an area that should be built up on because there is potential flooding there. And as a matter of fact, the house next door to the house in question tonight, they did build it up. It's a very nice house, but when they built it, they put a lot of cement in the front instead of grass, and we are experiencing a lot of runoff of water because it's up higher, and so it just makes me realize what would happen if there's a lot more cement put on the street. And of course, it also says that in the ordinances, it talks about, for general office multi-use, there are
restrictions on parking, as was mentioned before, and it talks about that what type of materials have to be used. So we're worried about that. And I'm not necessarily against people running a business out of their homes if it doesn't necessitate a zoning change. So it's not that I'm against her having a business there. And also, I'm just trying to see the most important things. Oh yeah, we're already experiencing the problems from commercial at the other end of our block by Sabe, where they do have the car repair shops. That there's constantly cars parked across the sidewalk there. It's a very dangerous situation. And I'm just concerned if there's other businesses on that block, they're gonna have the same problem, because you can't park on Hickory. So people park across the sidewalks. Traffic is very heavy on Hickory between Sabe and Dock, and that's because there's a lot of people coming from River Ridge to get to other areas. And we've already had 2 people killed on our block. It's just a very dangerous area. So if you do anything but residential, you're adding traffic. And so that's one of the biggest complaints or concerns that I have.
May I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So this is between the turn and the playground, correct?
This block is in between Dock
Yeah.
and Sabe. You know where Hickory Knoll Church of
Yeah,
Christ
yeah.
is?
Mhm.
Okay, that's the block right there. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of traffic there, and I know at one point, it was mentioned that when Hickory is expanded, it's gonna take a lot of traffic off of Hickory, which it will, but not on our area.
Not that part.
Not that part. I mean,
You're on the west side, is that correct?
That is correct.
So the commercial that I'm seeing is on the right, on the east side, is it?
Two doors down from it.
Two
The
doors.
one, yeah, the one that's asking to be rezoned is on
Right.
the same side of the street, 3 houses down from me. Yeah.
all
It's
on
right
that
next door to the house the big house in the corner.
Well, I think the reason I was asking is because we had this conversation about the block
Yeah.
down before. And again, I appreciate the neighborhood and the quality of life that you should be experiencing as a citizen and not be impeded on by commercial property.
Exactly, because, and my last point is, there's a lot of people on my block who have lived there for many years, including myself. And we purchased the property as residential, and it's only fair to
Should
the
stay.
residents that it stays residential.
I totally agree.
And I mean, there's a place for commercial, and I have nothing against commercial, I just don't want it on my block. So-
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask you a question before you leave?
Absolutely.
So I did listen to the meeting, and it seems like the lady, was it Ms. Brooke? Her main concern is that she'd like a small modest sign for her
That's
business.
right, that's
And
what
I've
she
heard
said.
several people say they were in favor of that. Were you one of those people that would be in
Yes.
favor of
I
her
think
going to
I
get a
even said I'd
variance
help
for a
her
sign?
get it up.
Okay.
If that's, and that's the other people may have different views, but.
Well, anybody that
Yeah.
comes up, I'm gonna ask them.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm saying, I'm not against somebody having a business, that's not my thing, as long as it doesn't need to have rezoning, because my biggest concern is you open the door. Once you approve that one, then somebody else is gonna have it, and you can't say no, ask for it, and you can't say no. So, yeah, I don't care about the sign, that's not my thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to make a oh, I'm sorry, we're not done.
Anyway, Timothy Crowley, 2037 Generis Drive. And a lot of things that Sharon says, I'm just reiterating some of the things. I wasn't here during the zoning commission. I was out of town, so I had, you probably heard, you said that you heard, I had my neighbor read out this saying to everyone, and they came back that night and told me that the zoning commission, all said that, they didn't think it was a great idea. But I just want to put it on record that, some of the concerns, the zoning change directly affects our home, which is located right behind the property Ms. Brooke owns, okay? We have serious concerns about negative impacts this change would have on our neighborhood. Believe it or not, a lot of people on Hickory and Generis run into each other a lot because we walk our dogs and we do the things in the neighborhood. I've seen Sharon quite a few times walking her German Shepherd down. And, you know, a lot of people like to use Generis because they don't, their animals won't get hit, you know? Yeah, the waterfront property, that's what I think about it. So, you know, one of the 5 points, you know, we're concerned that, you know, if you ever change the rezoning, it's going to decrease the property value. Sharon talked about that, okay? As homeowners, we rely on zoning laws to ensure neighborhood stability, and shift the zoning undermines that confidence. I'm saying, that sounds, you know, like I've heard all night long, okay? Unintended precedent. Once you allow one property to be rezoned, sets a dangerous precedent. It opens the door for additional zoning changes in the future, which could dramatically alter the character and integrity of our residential neighborhood. And you can understand that because, you know, if you live in a residential neighborhood, and I heard you say that, how would you like to be in a neighborhood, and all of a sudden somebody wants to build something next to you, you know, and all of a sudden your residential neighborhood is not a residential neighborhood anymore. You know, it's kind of mixed in. And then it sets the precedent that all of a sudden you've said, okay, this one's okay, but now you set the precedent, everything else can fall right in. The increased noise disruption, any future development or commercial use of this property could bring more noise, more traffic, and more disruption to the peaceful environment we currently enjoy. Now, I mean, look, Hickory is a little loud, but Generis, you know, but just think how loud it would be if there was so many more. I mean, look at if you go down on the other side of Hickory, closer to where all the businesses are, it is a lot louder because you have machine shops and all the other things. Our area is more residential. So, you know, the four concerns about the dog obedience, boarding business, that's what Ms. Brooke wants to put in. You know, we understand that the proposed rezoning is intended to allow the operation of dog obedience business. While we understand the value of such service, this type of business is not suited for the residential neighborhood. The presence of multiple dogs being trained outdoors throughout the day can result in excessive barking, frequent drop-offs and pickups, and an added foot and vehicle traffic. These disruptions would significantly diminish the quiet residential character of the area and create daily disturbances for nearby homeowners, especially those with young children, elderly residents, or pets of their own. You were going to ask the question about how I feel about that, and it's a little mixed because, you know, I don't hear the dogs most of the time, but I hear the dogs every now and then. I'm not sure if it's her personal dogs, or the dogs that she actually boards. You know, and I don't know how many I don't know if the business is going to board an abundance of dogs. There is a shed that's back, that is back in the back of her house, which is, I guess, an office house. And the shed itself is, you know, I've heard through the grapevine that she's insulated it to air condition it, you know, to make the dogs make it more nice for the dogs. I don't know how many dogs are being boarded, and I don't know, you know, what. Well, she is boarding dogs. She is actually, if you look at her website, she says she is boarding dogs. Okay, because she actually advertises the website, you know, as, I think it's, what's it called, New Orleans? It's something. It's a website. Yeah. So it's a dog school. The dog school. So she is boarding dogs. I don't know now if she's just has a couple or none or some, or, you know, how many, what is the ordinance to say that she can board dogs? Is that part of the area? Okay?
Yeah, so she would have to have an occupational license for that. We just have to figure out if she's got an occupational license for boarding. And I shouldn't say she doesn't, because you never know. But she shouldn't have an occupational license for boarding in residential. Right.
Right, but on her website, it says boarding, okay? So the other thing is that she also has a piece on that shed that was built by the previous owner illegally, that is all the way up to the property line, about 1 foot from the property line, which is right in my neighbor, my neighbor Sydney and mine, right there. At that time, evidently, it must have been where they must have done some illegal stuff, so they didn't want to put it to where anybody could see it. I don't know. Yeah, I think some people probably do that. Yeah. So, you know, the fifth part was inadequate infrastructure and increased flood risk. We talked a little bit about that last time, about, you know, the floodplain in that area. Everything that, every time it rains, it doesn't go toward Hickory, it comes toward Generis. Everything moves, all the water moves toward my house, okay? So, toward everybody on Generis's house. The last hurricane we had, remember all that water we had? I was in my backyard at 11:30 at night, you know, cleaning my drains out, doing everything I could possibly get done to stop the water from coming in my house, because everything was coming from Hickory to my house, okay? So we know that if that one structure is one thing to be, when you open up precedent and you decide that you want to build, you know, make it more general office mixed because you've opened precedent up, then all those buildings, you know, this is a, you know, a boarding, a dog place. Everything else could be where you have to pour concrete. And just like the other person that was here earlier tonight said, that, you know, the water has to go somewhere, you know? And if concrete is put down, the water is going to flow toward the people on Generis's. Because, you know, once you open up precedent to put general office mix in one place, and you start opening it up, somebody's going to say, hey, I got this one here, okay? What more? You know, you got this one piece of property is general office mix. Why can't I? And then they're going to start buying the property.
Excuse me,
and
sir.
knocking things down.
Could you wrap it up, please? We normally limit it to 3 minutes. So-
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, I
was an
understand.
insurance salesman for a year, so I'm retired now.
Trust me,
I'm
we
glad
have
you
you-
did. Or
we
you
have
should
you
have
for-
stopped me, Jason.
Thank you.
He was kicking you under the
I was
table.
about to say, you know,
Good.
we're voting against it, right?
That's okay. Yeah, my clients used to have to kick me out their house.
I'm gonna put you down for a no for a sign then. I got you down for a no
Yes, sir,
for a
thank
sign.
you.
All right.
Okay. We ready?
And we're implementing the 3-minute rule.
Yep.
Oh, now that I get up here, you can implement 3-minute rule.
Especially.
So you all have my name and my phone number, Carol LaGreco, my address, everything else. I would like to comment on this because this is very similar to what I'm going through, and I understand completely. However, I also believe that this application that was filed for was most likely signed by the same person, and I still don't think that's probably valid, and I think we should take a look at that. That if the application was not signed by a CBO, that is another issue that we have. But I do agree with changing our community is really a detriment, especially when you're taking residential areas and turning them into general offices. I agree that people can work out of their home, but when you change the whole look of the neighborhood, and when there's, you know, increased traffic and things like that, and you're bringing in commercial vehicles and heavy equipment and things like that up and down a residential street, that is going to cause problems, and I really think it's a detriment to our community. Thank you.
Look at that,
Thank
only
you.
1 minute. Good job.
And
Excuse me, Ms. Carroll, sign or no sign? Are you okay with her putting a sign on the property?
I'm okay with the sign.
Okay, got it, thank you.
I'm Aaron Coleman. I live at 2104 here. And I agree with the gentleman that just left from here. I can hear the dogs at nighttime, and the lady has a lot of cars pulling in and out, blocking the sidewalk. Then they've had cars pull in my driveway just to go back to hers. And I just, at nighttime, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear dogs. And then she walks the dogs down the street, and it's not 1, 2, or 3 dogs. I've seen her walk like 5 or 6 dogs at a time. Yeah, it's not just 2 or 3. Yeah, she's got big dogs, small dogs, walking, you know, all together. But, yeah, I don't want the sign. I don't,
Got it.
yeah.
Thank
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Spike Kiddock, 43 Berkeley Avenue. I just got one question. Is this trying to be G&O, or I mean GO?
GOM.
So you can do dog
No.
in,
No, it's trying to be a home office for that business.
You can't do dogs in GOM.
Correct.
We just haven't gotten there yet. We have to let everybody speak first.
oh, okay. Next time I want to go first.
Zane Janicki, 2033 Generis. It's all been said, no drainage, no plan. It's just not looking good. 14 years ago when we came to buy a house, my wife was against it. I had to actually drive her down and she counted like, okay, it is residential behind us. It is zoned residential behind us. She said, yes, this is a good place to live. If that changes, I mean, that just guts our property values again. Sure. We've all said it before, thank you, Ms. Sharon. Regarding the signage, you got me caught between a rock and a hard place. Ms. Sharon says she's okay with it. Mr. Tim is pointing out if they're not in compliance with the setbacks or even the usage, I have to abstain on my opinion on that until they get.
I'm sorry, sir, what was that last thing you said?
What's that?
Yeah.
that probably won't.
Jeez, he made it hard.
I didn't even think, I always look back there, I always noted like, yeah, my shed complies, their shed's right up on the back. Or, I'm sorry, it's not a shed, I didn't know it's a boarding facility, that's new to me, I did not realize. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not speaking, swapping mics.
As you were, gentlemen, continue.
Move to close public hearing.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Masbo to close the public hearing, second by Councilman Chatelain. Public hearing is now closed. All right, council discussion?
I have discussion. As you know, you can't put dogs in GOM, so that kills that idea. I know a few people say, but I know they have an issue with the dogs barking, and it's R1 zoning. She's running a business in R1 zoning. She shouldn't be running a dog. Originally she wanted to train dogs there, and she's got a sign in front of a house say, train dogs. And then we've come to find out she's running a kennel out of the house in the back shed. And I talked to a couple of neighbors, and one of the neighbors came up and said she goes out in night and smokes a cigarette, and she can hear the dogs barking. And the gentleman behind said he hears the dogs barking at night. She should. I know the girl wants to run a business. Maybe she needs to go find a commercial place to store the dogs. I mean, We can't allow the person to run a kennel out of an R1 zone. And we can't allow the person to put a commercial sign in front of an R1 zone. We got to stick by our ordinances, guys. We can't just, we want to help people out, but we got to go by the ordinances. We cannot continue to not follow our ordinances. We got to follow the rules. R1 says residential. It doesn't say commercial, where you can run, you want to put an office in your house, you can run an office out your house. I'm a salesman. I don't have an occupational license because I go out and call people on the streets. I go call them, I go to their office and see them. But you have some people that do business on the phone and they get occupational license at their house because they have an office at their house. You can get that office occupational license. But as far as running a business out of there, I'm not going to give a girl a business to run a kennel out of a house in an R1 zone. The city better not do that because that's not the way you do business. You can't do it like that. For a sign in front of a house? No. And I've told the city 3 times already about the sign in front of a house. I don't know if it's still there. Is the sign still in front of the house? There, where you go. I've told the city about the sign being in front of the house 3 times.
Yeah.
The sign's still there.
Councilman Johnson,
So,
when I did my sign resolution a few months ago, that was one of the signs that was in the pictures of the uncoded signs.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
and
Well, I
my-
know we got the signs, but we need to follow the rules in the city. If we got, now he passed the rule, we need to follow the rules. And we got to follow the ordinances.
Because this,
So this is, now you changed the rule, you changed it, you took out approval to deny. Okay,
haven't done
so
it yet.
we're going to amend it. So I
Haven't done it
I
yet.
would be voting to deny, because we were going to vote against the approval. So when I vote, to remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's changed from approve to deny. So we're voting to deny.
Not yet.
Well, I mean, I understand, but I want to let everybody know. But I'm definitely, we need to, Mr. Chris, we need to, you and I got in a debate about the dog. I even called the city attorney up, and he researched it for me. And you cannot do dogs in GOM. If we want to do dogs, we got to change the ordinance. We got to add dogs, put, what they call them, grooms, dog grooms in there, or kennels, or whatever it is. We got to change the ordinance. And we got to add it into the zoning, GOM. But right now, you can't do it. Well, I'm saying, the city has to enforce it. We got to notify the lady, she can't run a kennel out of a house. Mayor, she can't run a kennel out of a house. So, Mayor, you need to notify Mr. Chris. We got to send notice to the lady. She can't do it. Simple as that. Thank you.
Anyone else?
All right.
I just want to say that I think spot zoning is bad process, bad for the community. There have been a few cases where I have voted for spot zoning. We had property on Jefferson Highway, and the surrounding neighbors were happy to get it into commerce. And I voted to spot zone from residential to a commercial zoning, and we've got a really nice smoothie king there. And the neighbors came to the meeting and said, we're for it. We're tired of putting up with this lot being there, and pretty unusual. But if the neighbors are opposed to spot zoning, I'm opposed to it. I think it's a neighborhood killer. But I understand we've had a half an hour discussion on something that we were planning to amend and vote on. So
Let's get it
I'm
done.
finished. Thank
Let's
you.
do it.
I move to amend to change the word approved on line 25 to the word denied, rather.
Okay, we have motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain to change the word approved to deny on line 25. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. All in favor on the amendment?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Move to
on
approve
the-
as amended.
Second.
Now we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to approve as amended, second by Councilman Buddy. Buddy will open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak for or against?
Nope.
Spike Kiddock. I'm here about the senior center. I guess you could call me the CEO.
Wait,
to-
wait,
We're only going to be on
Not
this.
ready yet.
We
We're
just,
not ready for that. A couple more minutes. Yeah, stay there.
Move to approve as amended.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Asbell, second by Councilman Buddy to approve as amended. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
Okay. Proposed ordinance 2025-14. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending ordinance number 2018, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025 for the capital project fund of the city of Harahan, Louisiana for the EOC air conditioner.
We have well, now for public hearing, anyone want to speak on proposed 2025-13? And, all right, no one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing.
I move to defer this to the budget meeting set on September 4th.
I second that.
We have a motion to defer proposed ordinance 2025-13 to the September 4th meeting. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain. Councilman Ricks, I'm sorry. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. All in favor to defer 2025-13?
Yay. Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, we have no ordinances for introduction, no old business, new business. New business number 1, Todd Turnion, Finance Director, with the monthly financials.
Move to defer to the September 4th meeting.
Wait, I know, I just want to have a comment
Oh,
regarding
sure.
it. Or I can comment later. But I'm a vote to defer, I just want to.
Getting late.
I had an opportunity to go through the budget, and I had a conversation with Todd before I went through it. So what I'm going to say is new to him. Todd, I'm not sure that the form of budget we have now is in condition that we can make decisions on. And by that, I'm not sure what numbers you've analyzed as being good projections going forward. And I did talk to you briefly, we talked about sales tax revenue. It's a huge chunk of our budget, so we need to feel like the administration's had an opportunity to scrub the numbers and tell us if your projections going forward, are based upon a review. Now, I'm not talking about a $4,000 change, I'm talking about bigger numbers. But I'd like an opportunity to maybe sit down with you ahead of time of the 4th meeting to just run through it with you.
Sure, we'd be happy to do that. We have closed the books through the end of June, and the budget packet submitted to you does include estimates and projections through the end of December for the period July 1 through December 31st. Certainly, we did not analyze every single account and try to project every $200 cost through the end of the year. But the significant accounts, we did put effort into projecting sales tax, property tax, insurance expense, payroll expenses through the end of the year. They are projections. They will change
Yeah,
as
well,
staffing levels
no,
change,
I understand that.
as needs of the city changes. But we put an effort into making the projections and estimates as accurate as we can based on the information we have as of today. We'd be happy, Mr. Buddy, to meet with
Yeah,
you
I'd
next
like to
week or
sit
the
down.
following week. We'd be happy
My
to.
recollection, and I ran through this yesterday, and again, it's a lot to go through in one day, in one sitting, but it's the number that I saw in the projected column indicated a $250,000 deficit, or a large deficit. And if that's the case, then we're gonna have to consider proposing cuts to the budget, not just moving some numbers around. But the sales tax number would affect that deficit.
So it would. So so we did look at the sales tax revenues and the sales tax receipts. The sales tax revenues for the general fund, the first 3 to 4 months of the year were below budget. They were low, less than budgeted. The last 3 months that were collected were over budget. And in fact, the deposit we received this week was the highest deposit that the city's ever received from sales tax revenues. So I think there was a shortfall in the first few months, substantially made up. It's not made up 100% as of today, but substantially made up with the increase in the deposits the last 2 to 3 months.
So we may not have the meet. You're saying that you have analyzed the larger variances here, and you think this is a good projection at this point in time?
It's an
Yeah,
estimate,
yeah, yeah.
it's a projection, subject to change, based on future events,
No, thank
events
you.
of the city. I'd be happy to meet with you, Mr. Buddy. and
I may want
walk
to take
through-
you up on that, but I'm glad to hear you that far along with it.
Yeah,
Thank you
no,
very
we'd be
much.
happy to.
Thank you.
Since we're doing this, just one more request from you, if you don't mind. The capital budget schedule that you've got, as far as what's encumbered and what's not? Okay,
I can pass that along.
perfect. Thank you.
And does that include a summary of the match commitments?
It has in the past, I think.
I don't recall seeing that at May,
No.
but anyway, we need to know that to look at what's truly available to spend.
Yeah, and I would just add that, whenever there's a new president elected, I think that due to fear and uncertainty, those things tend to start slow in the beginning of the year, and I think they'll escalate in sales as you go through and people get more comfortable, more likely.
So we can move on. We're not deferring, obviously. New business number 2, the St. Rita Fall Festival Committee members respectfully request permission to sell beer and wine at the annual St. Rita Pecan Fall Bingo. This year, the bingo will be held on Friday, October 3rd, 2025, from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. All proceeds from the Fall Festival will be used for charitable purposes benefiting St. Rita Parish.
Anybody want to speak on new business number 2, Harahan Fall Fest Bingo? No one coming forth, we'll close public hearing. Council discussion?
No discussion.
Good.
All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
New business number 3, the St. Rita Fall Festival Committee members respectfully request permission to sell beer and wine at the annual St. Rita Fall Festival. The festival this year will be held on Friday, November 7th, 2025, through Sunday, November 9th, 2025, from 5 p.m. until 12 a.m. on Friday, from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. on Saturday, and from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. on Sunday.
Anybody want to speak on St. Rita's beer permit? No one coming forth, we'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
New business number 4, the members of St. Rita Fall Festival Committee respectfully request permission to block Berg Street from Imperial Woods to Ray Van Avenue during the hours of operation for the St. Rita Festival. We also request to block Raven Avenue on Sunday, November 9th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will use Raven Avenue to move the children from the school to Berg Street for their classroom performances. The neighbors this will affect will be notified in advance of our intentions.
Okay, anybody want to speak on new business number 4?
Mayor, can we take that from Elaine to West Imperial Woods, I'm sorry? Close Berg Street from Elaine, Imperial Woods? The neighbors always request it, so might as well put it in now.
Do we have to amend it? Or are we good with just changing those parameters? It's good, we can change it. All right, can you change that, Madam Clerk? All right. All in favor with the amendments proposed by Councilman Chatterling?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
New business number 5, set the September 4th, 2025 special meeting agenda.
You want to read those 2
Oh.
budget ordinances and anybody else that might have anything? So 2025, council, I'm proposing that the agenda be set as the budget ordinance that we deferred tonight,
Which is-
2025-9, and the air condition for the EOC at 2025-14.
Deferred.
That was deferred as well. That would be the agenda, and the only items on the agenda, unless other council members have something to add.
Do not.
And the budget discussion. Does that need to go on the agenda?
And budget discussion.
Okay,
Yes.
anybody want to speak on new business number 5, budget discussion on September 4th? Come to the podium, no one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. All in favor with the agenda that Councilman Asbill and Clerk Hustis has set forth? All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, new business number 6, Parkinson's Walk sign placement approval.
Council members, thank you, Councilman Johnson, for bringing the Parkinson's Walk people here today. I'd like to approve their request, their verbal request today for signage to be placed at Jefferson Highway in front of St. Rita, at Zerang Park on Hickory Avenue, at 10th and Hickory from September 6th to October 12th.
I'm sorry, anybody want to speak on new business number 6, Parkinson signs? No one coming forth, we're now
Did you
closed
put
public
by
hearing.
Citrus and Dickory?
I did not put that one.
There's one right there by Zia's.
I thought we said we couldn't do that one because it's on
We
Dickory.
can't do it on neutral ground, we could probably put it by
Okay.
the curve.
Yeah, then we'll add Citrus and Dickory somewhere on the neutral ground, yeah. Or on the,
Right by the curve.
right away, yeah.
Right by
On the,
us.
on the west side.
Yes, on the Harahan
river
side. of the-
side.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
Harahan side, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's 4 sign locations for 2.5 weeks.
all in favor, 4 sign locations, address stated by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Address the council.
Okay, if anyone would like to address the council, please state your name and address at the podium.
3 minutes.
Try this again. Spike Kiddock, I guess Director of Harahan Senior Center. Just want to give y'all some updates. Everything's still going good over there. This past weekend, we had half the building waxed, stripped and waxed. And probably in a couple of weeks, we'll do the other half. Adelaide's is back up and running since we waxed the floors. Anybody wants to bring donations or come visit the store, that's what we survive on now. And that's about it. The next thing is, y'all had talked about that money that y'all had put up for the senior center. I'd like to try to get some of it to bring the seniors to a show or out to eat or something, besides doing it at the senior center. We're still feeding them 5 days a week. And tomorrow's our big free food fun Friday. All of y'all are invited. Ed, you're invited. Might have to call some of y'all tomorrow. But I don't know what we have to go through to try to get some of that money.
That can be part of our
Will you-
budget discussion on the
Okay.
4th, yep.
All right.
Don't we have a line item in place?
We do, we can, and that's
Okay.
one of my points on the
Okay.
4th, yep.
Also, I'd like to thank Big John Ilg and Kurt Talbot for getting us the money for the bathrooms, to remodel the 2 bathrooms there. They really need it. It's steadily declining. Toilets are having problems. But anyway, any other questions?
Did they correct the overhang in the front? I know they got the guys out there.
I really don't have anything to do with that, but I do know that the mayor and some a structural engineer and a couple other people were out there making plans to do something.
Mayor, did
Might want to
did
ask
they
him.
report back to you on the front of the building?
We had a structural engineer get involved now, and the structural engineer wants it hurricane-proof, just because it is an awning. And so he's working, we're actually getting quotes right now to have someone come out there and hurricane-proof the awnings.
Okay,
And
thank
other
you.
than that, he had no problem with it, but he does think it needs to be hurricane-proof.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and also, we talked about the van that I think, Paul,
Yeah,
you donated.
I'm glad you brought that up. Mayor, I had asked you about the van. You had moved it back to the maintenance. I saw it back there. Are you going to get Gus to look at it and see how much it's going to cost to fix? Because we get the van, the seniors could use that to go like to the show and go places, because the West Wego uses their van to go. Well, Rich could do it. He's a CDL
I
driver.
got to see him.
He's a certified driver. He could drive the seniors
We
around.
just add one more thing to my volunteer jobs.
Yeah, he's a good man. You know, because I know the
But
seniors do
we
that.
can't afford the insurance, I can tell you right now. If the
We could
city
add that
can't
to
do
the
that,
senior, to the city.
and it's also, I guess, if you figure out how much it's gonna take to fix that. I got a meeting, it's in September, with the DOTD. They do stuff to give you money to get a van. But again, they don't take care of the driver, they don't take care of the insurance. So, something we can talk about after we find out how much.
Sorry, what do they cover? What do they cover with the grant?
They help you, they give you a certain amount of money to buy a van, or use one, new
I
one,
got you.
whatever. And it's for seniors, and that's about it.
West
So,
Wego's involved with that program. They get 80/20. They put up DOTD, but you got to go through a course. You got to go through a lot of
They
stuff.
say it's
to
a
get-
long period of
Yes,
time,
it takes
so-
2 years to get it.
if we, you know, if the van doesn't need that much. I know Lafitte was using it for a long time and then just got parked. So, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maria Levetro, 26 Chris Law. We want to talk about ordinances. This is something some of you know that I've been coming into City Hall for years about, is the neglect, the blight around Harahan. I don't even know who to talk to anymore because I used to come in and then I was told by Molly not to come in anymore. I was lied to, all kind of stuff. It's been horrible, okay? So it's been a while since I've even brought anything up because I've just personal issues. We've been in contact, Mayor. I've sent you texts, emails, different things. What is going on? There's different things, especially on Chris Law, and I know it's an older neighborhood. It is, but that doesn't mean it gives people rights to just neglect their business. And there's a lot of apartments, and apartments, we talked about that, need a regulation. We talked about that in your office years ago. Need regulation, because these people come in and they have these apartments, they don't live there, they live someplace else, and we deal with the problems, okay? And then you can't get in touch with anybody, all this kind of stuff. So I just need to know, who is Molly in City Hall anymore? Who's in City Hall? Who handles that now? Who should I get in touch with? I figured him, but I mean, something has to be done. Do you know what's going on with 122 Chris Law? There was people living there. I've been told that nobody knows anything, but then there's people living there. You know, like, it's just a lie. It's been ongoing. I just want to know what's going on. Sure.
3 minutes.
122 Chris Lauer has been cited. He's come in, he's made some improvements, not what he needed to, so he's going to regulatory court on the 24th of September.
That's been going on for years. It's been going on for years.
I just I originated it myself. Also 302 West Shannon, also 8540 Hickory, 2208 and 2212. Beamer Shop and Jim Junior's are all on the same day and have all been cited for various code deficiencies, as well as, I believe it was 545 Hickory, the one that's falling down. He did not move one muscle in 6 months to repair the property, and I didn't realize he was living there until last week. That one's going on the 24th of September also, so to regulatory court.
You know, can I just intervene for 1 second? Well, yeah, but it's way beyond this. So, Chris, I can appreciate your efforts. I think there needs to be a change in the court. I want to address that with the council, because I don't think that we have enough teeth in that courtroom, and people seem to just keep going and going and going. So I really want to take hold of that and make sure that you, like everybody else, as far as a citizen, is not subjected to blight. Like in my neighborhood, they've been fighting for over 11 years now, I believe. You know, these people want to come out and say, hey, you're targeting me, this, that, and the other thing. Well, you know, we're not targeting anybody. We're trying to get the city cleaned up. So we got Chris here. He's great. We need some changes probably in this court system to address those. Well, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm.
Trying new. We have a new guy.
Yeah, we're trying.
I am the
guy.
most hated person in Harahan as of earlier today.
Right, well.
Yeah.
And I've said, we kind of, like, it's been going on. I'm coming forward, not because of just like, I don't know who to talk to.
Right.
Every time I've come, I've been put with somebody new, Mr. Boudreaux and Molly.
Well, they're gone.
Okay, good.
So you're talking to Chris, and Chris is going to handle the stuff.
Just a circus.
Right.
And I'm tired of doing what I'm supposed to do, but people don't get in trouble. But like, if I was to build something, I have to jump through hoops, but yet these people get away with just stuff.
Murder, right.
And it's just,
That's because
So-
it's because you're a good neighbor that follows the law, that's why.
So we hear you, we've been hearing you.
Yeah.
That's why we started down this road with Chris. Last month, we passed an ordinance that the regulatory department will report to the council starting soon, every month, a report of citations, what happened in court, where are things going, because it's, prior to Chris, it was not getting done, and it was obvious.
And I'm told that, I was told
Right,
that, but nobody,
and
like,
we saw it,
other than-
and we saw it, and so now the council is gonna take a better hold on this, and if it takes finding a new regulatory judge or hearing officer, or whoever it is, to make sure the laws are enforced, then that's what we'll do too.
Right.
And just so y'all know, we don't expect Mr. Marino to be at every council meeting.
No.
I'm just letting y'all
And I
know.
don't wanna be at every
He's
council
here, I'm
meeting.
just, he's
And I
not
don't
gonna
wanna
be
be
here
at
every
every council
meeting.
meeting, but
Yeah.
I don't wanna have to come in and be told what I was told, and literally like, just, it was just ridiculous. And all I'm trying to do is make Harahan a better place. I lived, my house, my grandpa built my house in 1947. We've been in Harahan for 100 and something years. It's like, but people come through and they go, oh my God, you have to drive past that every day. I'm like, yeah, it's horrible. You have to live by, it's horrible. You keep your house up, but you have to, yeah, it's just, nobody cares. Like, that's what I felt like, nobody cared. People are gonna come walk with me, people are gonna, just all these things. I've been pacified through the years, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I do what I need to do. I don't expect renovation, I just expect not neglect.
Right.
You know, not having to do that. I mean, this is the house behind me. This is what I have to. So can you imagine what's coming in my yard?
Unfortunately, I have to follow a due process
And
to
I've
the,
sent-
to the,
I've sent things and not received anything back. No, this is prior to you, but I'm just saying, I've sent on the website, nothing back, nothing. So hopefully we're gonna be friends. Hopefully.
Until he cites you.
I had a lady last week that asked me to cite her neighbor. I went out there and he had a violation, and when I was in her yard taking pictures of the violation, she had a stack of old tires this high. And I'm like, all right.
Right, no, I get it. And I don't wanna, I understand people have a right to do what they want on their property, but some of the stuff, and I'm not talking just, first I'm talking all around area, is just ridiculous.
So, we're trying, so Chris and I, when we brought Chris in, we gave him the problem child list, and it's something that we're really focusing on. Chris has my authority and the council's authority, and though you may not believe it, we're 1,000,000% on the same page with you. I've had properties torture me my entire 10 years as an elected official, especially that one on Salve and Hickory right down there, and then I just can't seem to get something done there. And I get more complaints from River Ridge than I do from Harahan on that one, and it's not fair. And I keep my house up, and I'm sorry that we've been through so many processes, but I tell everybody, when you vote for me, I'm the king of progress and the king of change, king of commercial. So we'll change until we find the right one. I think we found the right one, and and he's going to start laying a law down, and that'll certainly be in my address tonight, that code enforcement's coming. So clean your stuff up.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you,
All right,
Chris.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Move to close, address the council.
All right, anybody else would like to address the council?
Nope.
No one else like to address the council? We'll now close address the council. Madam Clerk? Oh,
Too late.
Ooh,
Too late.
we almost voted on it.
Well, Carol LaGreco, 101 West Imperial. I do agree that there is a lot of issues with the blight, so to speak, in the neighborhoods, in the communities. But I also think that we can have code enforcement and things like that, but we are a community, and I think there's ways of also, we have Facebook, we have a website, we should have town hall meetings. We should get our community involved, and we should have, a community beautification weekend or something like that. And it's very simple, but you would get people to participate if we promote it. And I think we'd get more people, taking more pride in our community back in the 70s, we used to, have those big trash cans on the side of the street that said, "Keep America clean," and, they've gone by the wayside. But there are things that we can do as a community, and I know that y'all don't like when I talk about committees and things like that, but there are people who would volunteer right here in our community to come up with plans so that we could implement some of these, and we would even help promote them, and even, take charge of a cleanup day or something like that. And I think that the media would even carry it and help us promote it. The Harahan magazine would promote it for us, and we could plan it in advance. But it would be nice to see people taking care of our community. Just even the neutral grounds, and the crepe myrtles and things like that. We're Tree City, and it's kind of embarrassing sometimes when you see what the neutral grounds look like. And that's what we pay for it to be maintained. So I do agree with you.
Would you be the chairman of that committee?
I'll be co-chairman.
I'd be happy, and look, first thing I'd like to do, we'll keep Louisiana beautiful with the lieutenant governor, and we'll start there.
That's perfect. That will help. Thank you.
Perfect.
Move to close, address the council.
All right, so we're now close address to council. Madam Clerk?
Secretary's report for July 2025, total revenues, $548,408.60. Reports?
Chief LaPree?
I can waive doing my report
Please do.
for time
Thank you.
purposes.
Appreciate it.
Jason's on me. The stats, I'll just go on real quick. We had 731 calls for service. We'll post these on the website. Everybody will be able to see them. Real quick, I just wanted to mention, schools are back open. The school zones are back open. The kids are back in school. We need to slow down. We are running speed radar in the schools, in the school zones. So during those school hours, please slow down. We have decided we're going to have the Christmas parade on December 13th, starting at noon, regular route, starting at Horde and Jeff and concluding at Folsom and Jeff. Just real quick, the city of Harahan, we do have a new camera system. It has been installed. It cost the city $0. Was able to get the funding through the UASI Shishu grants. So that worked. We're just waiting for 2 cameras to be put in, and then the parish and the Jefferson Parish EOC will be replacing that funding. So it cost the city nothing. At the last UASI meeting I just went to, I was able to obtain a generator for the EOC Detective Bureau. It's going to cost the city nothing to get that generator. As I said at the last meeting, I brought in over a little over $2 million with the body cams, the tasers, the new cars. It's cost the city nothing. So I'm very stringent when it comes to money. You all know that. So I treat it as if it's mine. But and we did just host LSU Monroe just did a class for us on opioid responses. We're going to have 3 more classes. I'm trying to get all the guys, all the department. We had multi-agencies come in for that training class on the Narcan, the new opioid drugs coming out. There is another drug that's been identified. But just stay safe and keep an eye out for your neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Councilman Asbell?
No report.
Councilman, Chief St. Cyr's acting. Councilman Buddy?
No report.
Councilman Chatelain?
No report.
Councilman Johnson?
No report.
Councilman Riggs?
No report.
All right, I'm gonna make a little report, I'll make a little statement of some things that have been said lately, and I wanna make sure that we clarify this because the media is here tonight, and wanna make sure that I say what I say in public so my words don't get twisted and turned around like they so often do. This city has never seen the progress that it has seen since I have taken over being mayor. 6.5 years, we have done miraculous things in this city. We have built memorials to our veterans who have given their lives for this country, and I refuse to let any sort of stain be put on that. We have built economic drivers in everything that we do here to make sure the city continues to grow. We're working hard every day. Am I perfect? Not by a long shot, but I try my best every single day when I wake up. And to apply that anything may have been done nefarious is ludicrous, and intentionally to try to put a stain on my tenure as mayor, and I'm not going to tolerate it. And because I know that I give this community 24/7, 7 days a week of my life, and I've done that for 16 and a half years. I'm very, very proud of what we've done here. I'm very, very proud of this council, proud of the last council, proud of my tenure as a councilman. And though we don't always get along and see eye to eye, at the end of the day, we always find common ground to continue to move this community forward with. And as you heard stated earlier, Councilman with State Representative Big John Ilg and Senator Talbot, we have gotten and worked very hard to get money from entities from the federal government on down to do everything that we needed to do in the state. And I don't have exact figures on it, but everything bit of progress we've done in the city has cost the taxpayers very little to no money. Everything was done with outside funding that I have spent days and thousands of hours trying to just get out and secure for this city, because I love my city, I love being the mayor, and I love working for you guys. I love public service. And I hope that, that nothing gets in the way of being able for me to provide that service to you guys, because I will give you my heart and soul day and night. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a motion to adjourn?
No, got to do pay bills.
Oh, pay the bills?
Pay bills. Bills paid in July 2025. Total expenditures, $433,513.36. No executive session. Adjourn.
We are adjourned.